They gon' let me for my ambition.
Woo! We are here. Are my ears red? They usually are red when we have big guests. They're a little red.
Guest. My boy's nervous today.
Look good.
I don't think it's nervousness. I think it's just God just speaks through my ears. I don't know what happens. It randomly just starts to boil.
Got the fire going on.
You know what I'm saying? But that's also a good sign for a good occasion every time that it happens. For those who don't know, who aren't familiar with the channel, this is Club Ambition YouTube channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're listening, welcome. You know, thank you for listening. But if you're watching on YouTube, like many people are, you know, visually, we appreciate you. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, comment on below, share your opinion amongst, you know, throughout this interview, because it's going to be extremely, extremely interesting. And overall, when it comes to Rhode Island history, first of all, everybody, welcome. There's welcome people watching, but there's also audience in the room. Shout out to our brothers. Everyone's in the building. Got the whole entire Club Ambition team, the whole everybody up in here.
Today,
got the Chubb corner. Marloon's sick. Marloon's a little under the weather, but he's watching from home. You know, he's here in spirit. We got Erlen and we got David subbing in today.
It's good to be back. Good to be
Shout out to David. He's
another
you know
Chubb, yo.
he's been
we're
here.
Still fully chubbed over here.
He's kind of Chubb, I guess.
Come on, guys.
We might not. I don't know if we could talk about Chubbs today though. Let's be careful. Let's be careful there, guys. Okay. But when it comes to Rhode Island history, this is probably going to become, if not one of, potentially, and I'll say it humbly, I'll be on some Jeremy Peña humble type of vibe, but this is probably going to be the biggest, especially so far, interview in the history of Rhode Island, and one of the biggest interviews in the history of sports, especially when it comes to baseball. Long awaited, long anticipated. So shout out to everybody that's watching. You know, when it comes to our fan base, his fan base, there's a lot of haters. There's a lot of naysayers. But guess what? They're watching. So shout out to you guys. All the subtweeters, everybody that's been subtweeted. They might be subtweeting him. They might be subtweeting us. Whatever the case, they're here watching. So we appreciate it, right?
Thank you for tuning
Now let's get that out the way. On a happier note, shout out to the families. There's families, his family, my family, everyone in the building in here. Some of the families met him today. So that was instrumental, very, you know, amazing, genuine love per usual. And a lot of our friends are watching. So we appreciate you guys for joining, because this is right here, the man to the right of me. When it comes to the actual creation of this channel, the actual creation of the podcast, and the concept of actually highlighting Rhode Island individuals without even being intentional. We just want to interview interesting people, and they happen to be from Rhode Island. But the man sitting to the right of me is basically the definition of that. You know, it's pretty amazing and incredible to witness from his, you know, actual first time, especially when it comes to me specifically speaking myself from a personal experience. A classical kid. You saw him. Everyone talked about it. JP, man, JP. Oh my God, he's so good. And everyone's like, yeah, he's good. He's good. And now we have him sitting to the right here, sitting to the right of me, the Houston Astros rookie shortstop. And not even just the rookie shortstop. He is, let me not get this wrong, because also, by the way, this is not ESPN. This is not FS1, Fox Sports. I'm not an expert. And I know a lot of the answers to the questions I'm asked today, but I'm going to act like I don't, because I want to be a fan today, 100% of the man sitting to the right of me. But he is a Dominican from the smallest state of the country, Providence, Rhode Island. And he's not just the rookie shortstop. He's the first rookie shortstop to win the Gold Glove Award, first rookie shortstop to hit a home run in the World Series. He's a World Series champion, the World Series MVP, and the ALCS MVP champion. And a lot of you guys know him as the Humble King, La Tormenta, JP, Jeremy Peña, right here. Round of applause, everybody. I need go?
My man.
All right. How's it going, brother? Listen.
Hey.
Long time coming, but we here.
Listen, long anticipated. That intro got my mouth dry. Hold up. Let me. We're starting getting cotton mouth.
It's a lot of accolades, yo.
Jesus, I didn't expect that one.
He's got that shit handy.
Yeah.
But we're prepared over here. But once we got that out the way, listen, man. First of all, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Let's get that out. That's not even on the list. But how are you doing? How are you feeling? You're back in your hometown currently. So what's your state of mind right now? How long have you been here? And what's your emotions right now?
Man, I feel good. You know, I feel good to be back. You know, back in Providence, back at home. You know, seeing familiar faces. Good to see y'all. You know, and Yeah, man, good to be back.
Facts. So, listen, man, it's they call it the homecoming for a reason. It really, really feels that way. You know, you had a lot of people show you love. A couple of days ago, you had it at the PCTA event. How did that go? That went well as well.
It was a great event, man. It was put together by Providence Sports and Leadership, team we played for growing up. You know, it was put together by the city. You know, and I say the best part was just seeing the familiar faces. Like I said, you know, I saw a bunch of teammates I haven't seen in a long time. You know, classical friends. You know, and it was a great time.
Yeah, man. So let's start from the beginning. The Jeremy Peña story. When it comes to yourself, born and raised, were you born here? Were you born in DR? What is the story for those who don't know?
So I was born in Dominican. I was born in Santo Domingo,
Santo
Dominican
Domingo
Republic, on a farm.
Wow, what farm? Do you know
bro.
the exact farm?
It's in Iguero. It's like the northern side of the capital.
Wow.
So I was born on a farm, you know, lived there. And yeah, man.
How long? Do you know like the exact amount? Like at what age did you like
9
guys?
years.
What?
9 years on a farm, man.
Whoa, I did not know
Yes,
this.
sir.
Do you remember any of that?
I do.
Really?
I do remember it, man.
What are some of the first memories that come to mind of yourself, Jeremy Peña, living in Santo Domingo on a farm?
Man, so my nickname is La Tormenta,
Yep.
right? The storm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that came to be because I was not a bad kid, but I was curious. You know, I would do these things where everyone would be like, why? Like, why would you do that? And on the farm, like, for example, would be like, we had a bunch of chickens. So I grabbed the bucket, you know, filled up the bucket with a bunch of eggs, you know, to the top. And I grabbed the baseball bat, started throwing up the eggs, trying to hit them, you know, and I'm missing them. Boom, they're dropping on the floor. Boom, dropping on the floor, can't hit them. And all the workers got mad, you know, and they grabbed me. And they're like, your dad's going to hit you, like, he's going to get you in trouble, like, blah, blah, blah. When my dad comes, he goes, you try to hit the eggs? I was like, yeah. How many did you hit? And I go, 0. And he goes, next time, you better hit all of them. And I was like, that's a real man right there, bro.
Oh, my
like,
God.
So, like, stuff like that. Like, I'll do things like that. And they said I was a bad kid, but, you know, I was just having fun.
Wow, La Tormenta. That's where it stems from. For those who don't know, Spanish, La Tormenta, translation English means the storm, right? The storm.
Yep.
The storm. And wow, that's crazy. That sounds like your life is a biopic already, because if you transition literally from that to like where he is today, it's like a movie. That's insane. So going from there, so how did your family, or were they immigrants similar to how my parents were when they came to America? Do you know the process of them coming over here? Because in my instance, they came over here for me to be born here, but you obviously were born over there. Right. So it's definitely a different story, but very familiar story where a lot of my cousins, they went through that same process of being older, being born over there, and then coming over here. So what was that process of, you know, transitioning to becoming an American citizen? Do you recall that? What was the process that your parents went through with you?
So my father played in the big leagues. So he had been in the States before, you know, and so...
And what's his name out there? The full name for those who obviously don't know?
Geronimo Peña.
And what was the team?
Geronimo Peña. He played with the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, from 90 to 96.
Wow.
So, yeah, so my dad had already lived in the States, and then when he retired, he moved back to the Dominican. You know, he had his family, and he actually came here first. You know, he lived in New York, a couple of my uncles, and as he was working for the papers to bring us over. And then once it went through, we came to the States. They did it mostly because of us, because we had a good living in the Dominican. My dad played in the big leagues. My mother was an accountant. And we pretty much just came here to give me and my brothers and my sister a better life. So,
wow, that's amazing. And so you had siblings as well, right? What is the age of the siblings?
So my oldest brother, Austin, he's 26.
Wow. Okay.
I'm 25.
That's 1 year difference.
Man, I was getting busy.
Wow.
But yeah. 25.
Did you guys butt heads much as children? Like your brother, was it like a big brother, little brother vibe, or?
It was, you know, in the beginning we were kind of equal. You know, I put up a fight.
Yeah.
But then he had puberty before I did, so it was, you know, it was sad from there. But you know, it's cool. And then we have my sister. She is 22.
Wow.
And we have my little brother. He's 20. So you know, back to back to back. You know.
Wow. And when it comes to your siblings, do they have any similar paths? Because obviously your father played in the leagues. You are now big in the leagues. But when it comes to them, especially your brother being older, before you got any interest, did he have any interest or trying to follow that same path as well?
So we all played. We all played.
Even your sister?
Even my sister played.
Wow.
In college. My uncles played. My cousins played. Everyone in the family plays. You know, it's something we're born with.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was never forced on us by my parents. You know, it was like, this is, because in Dominican, you know, baseball is all we got. So you grow up watching the famous people out there are baseball players. So you kind of want to strive to be like them and when you're older. And yeah, so it was never forced on us, but we were born with a baseball in our hands.
Wow. So when it comes to that, they never forced you, but so did you have, though, any other, like, aspirations when you were younger, you know, being that kid in DR, you know, batting eggs? Was it destined for you to, like, yo, I just want to be a baseball player? Or were you like, no, maybe I want to be, like, we all have those moments of, like, oh, being an astronaut, a doctor, your stereotypical things? Or was it always baseball for you growing up?
So when I was in the Dominican, it was only baseball.
Really?
And then I moved to the States, and that's when I was introduced to jump roping. Yeah, look at that, man.
What was about to be a double Dutch
I watched
master
that
over there?
movie. I watched that Disney movie, dude, with the
That's a good-ass movie.
jump in. Yeah, I watched jump in.
That's a good-ass movie.
That is a good ass.
That's a good-ass movie. Let's
And
not lie.
I was inspired, dude.
So you...
Is that the first movie you saw when you came?
And, you know, I wanted to, in gym class, we had jump ropes
In DR?
in the States.
In the States, okay.
In the
Okay,
States,
yeah.
so, you know, I was jump roping. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of good at this, so let's see if I could be a professional jump roper. And, yeah, that dream died quick, but
Yo,
yeah, man.
imagine that. Jeremy Peña, the professional jump roper, instead of the MLB, you know, fucking champion. That would have been insane.
You still got the skills to this day. You think you can still double dutch a little
To
bit?
this day.
To this day.
Yo, get the jump rope out.
I would have brought a jump rope in here. I didn't know that. We would have brought a jump rope next time.
I still got it. I still do it. You know, it's a great workout.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got the blood going, so.
That's amazing. So yeah, so your parents, they supported you in your decisions. There was no sense of like, you know, because we all go through these moments, especially depending on the type of career paths. Like me early on doing what I do, my parents were confused. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's this YouTube stuff? Like, what are you always going to your car? Like, what are you doing? Like, how is that a career? But then they start seeing the accolades that come from it, the following, the impact, and they see the growth, and then they get it. But with you, since your father was in the MLB, was it always like from day one, he's like, he understands, like, okay, I'm gonna help you do this, like a typical, like you see online, like the image of the father teaching the son how to swing a bat. Was it like that with yourself and your father?
So it was pretty much like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I was born, I can't even remember my first, like, baseball memory. But, yeah, he always gave us the option, though. Like, he would always ask us, like, is this something you really want to do?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a long journey. But is it something that you see yourself doing? And we all were like, yeah, we want to do it.
Wow.
You know, and, yeah, they were always supportive of us and our decisions. But, well.
That's amazing. So now, moving forward, when it comes to the family now living in Providence, Rhode Island, what was your journey when it comes to Rhode Island schools? Assuming that from the beginning, you guys, they all lived in Rhode Island right away, or did you have like a moment somewhere else, or was it right away Providence, Rhode Island?
Right away, Providence.
And what was your elementary school that you went to?
I went to Sackett.
Sackett. So Sackett, the entire elementary?
I went 4th and 5th grade.
4th and
Sackett.
5th. Okay. Well, and how was that experience at Sackett?
It's funny, bro. First day of school, you know, my parents, we all went to the same school. And our parents dropped us off. I was like, all right, have a great first day of school.
Damn.
And I'm sitting there like, I don't speak English. I don't know where I'm going. I
Wow.
don't know anybody.
Wow.
So, you know, we met this lady. She took us to our classrooms. And the first day we get there, she gives us like a quiz to see where you're at, like where you stack up. You know, it was simple, but I didn't speak English. So I'm just sitting there looking at gibberish, and everyone's hammering this paper. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And I'm trying to copy off of this kid next to me, and he makes a scene where he covers his paper. He says something. I don't know what he said, but the teacher came over. She's like, what's going on over here? And I looked at her like,
I don't know either.
I don't know what's going on either, man. Like,
Yeah.
and then she starts speaking Spanish.
Oh, Thank God.
Yeah, she started speaking Spanish, and that's when I realized I was in a bilingual class. Like, she spoke English and
wow.
Spanish, and after that, you know, that was a blessing. And
Wow.
yeah.
Do you remember your first memories of maybe even learning like English? Do you recall?
I do remember.
Really?
I
What
do
was it? Was it
remember.
like TV, or were you Inglés sin barreras? Were you subscribing to Inglés sin barreras?
I feel like a lot of people, when they try to learn a language, they struggle because they don't immerse themselves into the culture and the language. I feel like when you don't have an option but learn, it becomes easier. You know, my cousins already lived in Providence, and they'll watch Drake and Josh, and they're laughing because Drake and Josh is, you know, I grew up watching Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So it's action, you know, but Drake and Josh is like, you have to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
To understand the jokes.
100%.
And they're laughing. I'm like, bro, what's so good about this show? Right, bro. And then
Drake and Josh is
eighth grade
amazing.
year, I'm rewatching Drake and Josh, and I'm like, I don't know what they were talking about. Like, this show's lit. But you know, when you don't have an option to learn, you pick it up quicker.
Facts. Oh, that's amazing. And I like how you obviously did that, because obviously you speak English today, but there's so many people in your position who, to this day, like I have aunts who've been here 20, 30 years, and they don't know how to speak English. You know, a lot of people, unfortunately, from DR and other countries as well, especially other language countries, they don't really transition, or maybe they have difficulty learning English, but you know, flawlessly did that. So I think that's a beautiful thing. So now, going from elementary, let's jump to middle school. What middle school did you go to?
Roger Williams Middle School.
Hey,
Wow.
Yes,
The
sir.
worst middle school in Rhode Island history.
What you mean, bro?
I can't lie.
Allegedly.
You ever
At
heard
the
of
time,
Gilbert
nah.
Stewart?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I mean, at the time we was voted like one of the worst middle school, or the worst middle school.
I think in the country.
Yeah, we was bad.
But what was Perry? Yeah, Perry was a prison. They had to shut it down. But when it came to your experience, you were there the entire was it 6 to 8?
6 to 8.
6 to 8. So what was your experience there?
I mean, there was a lot of Dominicans there.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
a lot of
Talk about
Dominicans.
it.
So it was an easy transition into middle school, you know. And I had friends because I had already been playing in baseball leagues, and they were going to school with me at the same time. So it was like I had that baseball connection, and I had these friends at school, you know. And it was easier, you know. Roger Williams, I had a great time, you know. I had a great time there. So
Listen, did you
shout out Miss Salisbury and
Yes, sir.
Roger
Okay.
Williams squad.
yes,
yo.
sir. JB, Miss Salisbury, and Steve Hafey.
Hey.
Yes, sir, Coach Hafey.
Pardon the interruption momentarily, real quick here. Commercial break by Club Ambition. That's us, ourselves. We have clothing out right now for sale. If you like what Jeremy Peña's wearing, that sweater, it's discounted right now. We have the black version on my body, and Jeremy was wearing the black version. But Erlen Mindset, tell them what you're wearing. You got the gray one looking nice.
Gray one looking nice, comfy, man. It's getting cold. You know, this is heavy sweater, very good quality after a couple washes.
It's like a fucking coat.
brand new.
$39.99. Free shipping. $39.99.
Very cheap, yo, for the quality. And then it's crazy.
Look at these shirts.
Look at this shirt, man.
Balenciaga who?
Oof.
Fuck Balenciaga.
Come on now.
You see Balenciaga, they're doing the child pedophilia. No child pedophilia over here. We're fathers over here.
Come on now. But those for the ambition.
Right
y'all
there.
got ambition, y'all got a dream, man. Keep going. They're going to love you for that, man.
100%. 100%. Available all on the website. Let me show them the website, clubambition.store. That's clubambition.store. You visit the website and you see we have a sale going on. We got shirts for $20, free shipping. Official 47 Club hats, free shipping. 47 Club, we work with them. Shout out to 47 Club. Official partnership with 47 Club hats for $20. People are sleeping on those heavily. They're not gonna sleep on the next ones though. Whenever we got the new era coming soon, they're gonna not sleep on that one.
Facts.
Black hoodies, gray hoodies, $40. These used to be $70, guys. They're on sale. We got some shirts left of these, the high quality puff print shirts for $30, free shipping. These have a back print on them as well. Shout out to Michael Cameron for modeling these. Shout out to Tony, Tiana, also Jada modeling them on the Instagram posts. Check them out. Club Ambition clothing, Club Ambition merch. CA is really a movement. It's a brand. This is good quality merch, clothing. It might seem basic because it's black and white. We're dropping more colors, more designs very much soon, but we can't do that without money. So please support us right now. Holiday sale, purchase this stuff on clubambition.store. You can look like Jeremy Peña too. He's a part of Club Ambition, for those who didn't know. And he's rocking this stuff proudly. So please support us. Please, we need to pay the rents. I need to put food in my son's mouth. Clubambition.store. Where can they find us again, Errol?
Clubambition.shop.store.
Store.
Clubambition.store,
motherfucker. There we go. There we go. Now back to the legendary Jeremy Peña interview. Pow!
Shout out.
Coach Chief.
They watching. So when it came to your, actual involvement in baseball activities, was it during middle school where it got the most serious? At what point did it get like the most serious? And break it down, was it during this moment where you were doing leagues, like you said, and break it down to the people, what specific leagues in Rhode Island you were a part of?
So I say when I started taking baseball seriously as a career, like something I wanted to feed my family with, I would say it was my sophomore year of high school. Like middle school, it was still like, I'm just going to the park and I'm having fun with my friends. We're just going to play the game and go home and do homework.
Yeah.
But sophomore year of high school, that was when I was gearing everything around me to get better at baseball.
Wow.
Like even like food. Is this helping me or is it
your diet
not helping me? Right.
Start changing your diet.
So it's like everything I was doing, I would ask myself the question of, is this making me better or is this making me worse?
Yeah.
And that's when I say the obsession began. Like sophomore year of high school was when I really wanted to do this thing.
And that was classical.
That was at classical.
Classical high school.
Yes, sir.
I think is the whole room classical alumni? Damn near. Let's say 80% classical alumni in the building. So when it came to high school, was that like a tough decision for yourself? What was your process to get into classical? Was it like mine where you took the test and everything? Did your parents kind of pressure you because of the eliteness, surrounding classical and wanting to become a part of this for like academic wise to help you? Was it the same process? What was that process of going to classical?
So I feel like being a student in Providence, classical is like you said, like elite. And all of our parents want us to go to the best. And that's how it was with my parents. But not a lot of people know this, but I didn't get into classical.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get into classical. I failed the exam. And I remember I was in Mr. Hayfie's class. He was my 8th grade teacher at Roger Williams in my Algebra 1 class. And everyone got in except for this one girl. And I still had not heard back from the school. And everyone's celebrating. I'm like, I still haven't received my acceptance letter yet. So how do they know, right? So I go home that day and I ask my mom, I'm like, hey, have you seen anything from classical saying that either I got in or I didn't get in? And I remember we made eye contact. And I could tell right away, like, it was not good news.
Oh my God.
And she came up to me, she gave me a hug, and she was like, they didn't accept you, but they're making a mistake. And, you're going to go somewhere else. And you're going to make them regret that they didn't accept you. You're going to do great things. And you're going to prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And at the moment, I was sad. It was a sad moment for me. But what my mom said really hit me. And I was like, you know what? It's their loss. I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm going to do what I have to do. And I get back to school, to Roger Williams, and I tell Mr. Hayfie I didn't get in. And he was like, no way, like, I'm so sorry, but I think you should appeal. Then Miss Salisbury came into the picture. She was my English teacher. She was like, I also think you should appeal. And me having my pride, like, I was like, I'm not going to appeal.
They don't want me.
They don't want me.
Fuck them.
They don't want me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go somewhere else and I'm going to prove them wrong. Like, I don't beg. I'm not going to beg them to accept me. And, they gave me a whole speech. They sat me down, like, for 30 minutes, and they convinced me. Like, they're like, put your ego aside, put your pride aside, and this could be a life-changing path, right? Like a path. Like, if you go somewhere else and you go here, like, your life could be totally different. So,
wow.
I listened to them and I appealed. Didn't hear back from them all summer.
Oh, my God.
And I was already doing summer homework for Paul Cuffey High School. That's where my brother was going at the time.
So that's where you possibly would have went?
Right. So that's where I was going. I was already doing summer homework.
Damn.
And then like a week before school started, I got a call from, I think it was Mr. Toro. Right? Mr. Toro. And he,
shout out to Mr. Toro.
He called me and they asked, he's like, hey, are you still interested in coming to classical? I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, all right, I'll see you first day of school.
Hey.
That was my path into classical, man.
Wow. And you think obviously your skills and like your respect that you had for your athletics and your background helped you? And also, did you have good grades going into it? Did you have like good actual middle school grades as well?
I had really good grades.
Really?
I had really good grades. But at the time, I still didn't dominate the language.
Oh.
Like, 8th grade year was my first year when I was in regular English. Like, no bilingual. So I was still, struggling with the, like, reading and writing portions. But math, like, I was always decent. And Mr. Hafey saw that in me, that he's like, this kid special. 100%. And he belongs with the best. So shout out to Mr. Hafey and Miss Salisbury.
Shout out to them, because if it wasn't for them, we possibly wouldn't have Jeremy, the world champion, where he is right now today.
Thanks.
Wow, that's incredible. So now let's move more into the years of classical, because a couple of the gentlemen in here were actually on the team. I think I think it's behind you guys. Do you have the frame? Pull it up. Show the people. So this was the classical team. This was the main team, right?
Yeah, this was a team that won the chip.
So break it down, Erlen.
I mean, shit.
What was the year and everything?
Was it 14, 20?
20.
Read it.
Yeah, 20, yeah. Damn right. So, yeah, we won the 2014. We won the Region 4 Championship, Division 2. And
Who's the coach?
Yeah,
It's a great year.
Coach Winook right there.
Shout out to Coach Winook.
Coach Hafey's around, too. I know that. JP, me, Dave.
Man.
A lot of the squad right there. That was a crazy squad, man.
Yeah, man. So talk about that. How was that experience being a part of that team and, winning? And, man, you guys were legends. You still are legendary, when it comes to Rhode Island school sports history. That team and that year is definitely a legendary one. What was your, thoughts, experience in that?
So I remember my freshman year, I tried out for the team. They put me on JV. Most of you probably remember I was skinny kid, tiny.
Yeah.
No, I was not anything special. Like, I was just average, knew how to play the game, but I couldn't wow anybody.
And the hands was kind of crazy.
I always had hands, but
Very humble guy here. But keep it going.
but I didn't have much, And,
Yeah.
I remember they put me on JV, and I would watch all the varsity guys, and I'm like, bro, all these dudes have on me is size. Like, these dudes cannot play. And I'm thinking that just to myself,
Yeah, to motivate yourself.
I'm not telling that to anybody. And then I go into freshman season. I average like an error a game. Like, I was terrible my freshman year.
Wow.
And, bro, I took that to heart. Like, I think that was a switch. Going into sophomore year, that's when I told you that I made the switch of, is this something I really want to do?
Yeah.
And that's when I started really taking it serious, because I knew what I was about. I knew I was small. I knew I wasn't the best, but I knew where my head was at. And it was just a matter of showing it. So.
Wow. So was 2014 the sophomore year? Or
2014 was my junior year.
Yeah,
the junior year.
Our sophomore year, right? Yeah, our sophomore year.
So then the junior year was when you won the championship. So the next year, the following year, right?
Right.
So break down that year and actually experiencing that, coming from a freshman who had his struggles. You believe like you could be better. I'm sucking. What is going on? Looking at the JV, and then now you are, on a championship team at Classical, and everyone's going to the games. Was it technically sold out games? It was packed. Let's say that. I'm not sure if you had to pay for a ticket, but it was definitely packed games.
Yeah.
All over the news. Everyone's talking about it, and especially when it came to you, you were one of the main people that people always mention. Gotta go see JP at the game. Fast forward into that. How was that experience of this championship year at Classical?
So I feel like once their class came up to varsity,
Yeah.
they played JV their first year, but once they came
Game changers.
to,
Brought the.
I say that's when the energy on the team
Shifted.
changed.
Yeah.
It shifted, because our seniors at the time, they were winners. Like, they won their freshman year, so they knew what it was like to win.
Yeah.
I didn't know what winning was.
Yeah. You were
I've
new.
always
Yeah.
played out on losing teams my whole life.
Yeah.
So, Tim Lombardi, shout out to him. He was our captain senior year, and since day one,
Shout out to him.
shout out to him.
Yeah.
Since day one, he he got the team together, and he was like, hey, let's make it happen this year. we fell short the year before, and we have the necessary pieces to get it done. So, everyone just play your role.
Yeah.
No egos. It's all about winning. Forget about your stats. And that season, the whole team just came together, man. It was a gel. And David at second base making errors.
I had one of my best plays in my life.
That was
Turn
my
a
double play
with this
partner
guy.
right there. My double play partner right there. So shout out to him.
Man.
But,
So from your guys' perspective, how did Jeremy do that year?
I mean, so
Be honest.
No, it was always smooth. Like every time he went up, you know what was gonna happen. I would say the only thing that was always probably lacking was the bat. And then
At that time, yeah.
at the time, we always knew the hands was there. It was gonna be crazy, but just the bat. So, but I mean, it was like something to see every time. Something spectacular for real. Like you could tell the talent was there. Like he was gonna go crazy for real. So it was smooth. Yeah, leader for sure.
Yo, he's just saying that because I'm here, bro.
Nah,
once you leave, he's like, yeah, nah, he's not that good.
He wasn't that great.
he batted 100. He batted nah. It was something to watch.
You can hear me. Nigga, there was one time, nigga, that there was like a ball. Damn. This shit, man. God damn. There was, this is YI, by the way. You can't see me. But there was one time, there was a hard hit ball or some shit. My first time pitching in varsity. A hard hit ball, my first at bat ever in varsity. Josiah grabs it, center field against the fucking wall. It was almost a home run, nigga. And this nigga Jeremy says, "It's just a hard out. It's just a hard out. You good?" And I was like, "That no, I never forgot that." And it was like a sense of like anything that happens, we got you. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And that's what he brought. That was the best thing.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. And
for
that
sure.
speaks on the culture. It's like you make an error, the pitchers on the mound are like, "We're gonna pick you up." Someone doesn't execute at the plate, the next batter up is, "Don't worry, bro, I'm gonna get it done." So it was it was a real team.
Yeah, we had good chemistry.
Yeah,
We had good chemistry.
That's
Very
what
good chemistry.
brought us far for sure. It was like everybody knew each other, and it's like everybody was like a top player in that position. Really, like that was crazy.
It's true.
I remember you guys had a lot of fun. I heard some of the, let's not talk about it on camera, but I heard some of the locker room stories. Crazy locker room environment over there on that baseball team. So when it came to your following year, senior year, what was your experience, your last year there at Classical?
So I say senior year, everything changed, dude. Like
Yeah.
senior year, I was not even like I don't even want to say this on camera, but I wasn't even focused on school anymore.
Really?
Like baseball was everything at the time. Like I was going to the Dominican in the summers, and I would play in the Dominican
Training?
academies with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Mm.
And they wanted to leave me there and my brother there and sign us as professionals, like professional baseball players with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And my father was the one that said, "No, you're going to go to the States, you're going to study, and if your baseball dreams are ever going to happen, do it through school." And me being young, my dream is to play pro ball. Like I want to play in the big leagues, and this is an opportunity to a step into the door of that dream. So when he told me that, like, of course I was not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to school and started doing tryouts again.
Mhm.
Went down to Florida to a perfect game tryout with the Toronto Blue Jays scout team. And these dudes could play.
Mm.
Like, these dudes could play. I went down there, and still, even senior year, like, I was still skinny. Like, and my bat was still, not really there. So when I went down there and I see these potential first-rounders, strong, on the face of on the cover of Sports Illustrated, balling out, and I felt like I was behind. I felt like I was behind. Here in Providence, I was decent, but over there I felt behind. And I had a decent tournament. I competed, and a scout for the Arizona Diamondbacks kept following me after that. Into the winter, he came up north. He went to our practices at PSL inside the Elma Community Center. And everything started to snowball for that. Other scouts started showing up.
Wow.
Senior year in the games, like they would come to our games and they'll keep me after the games to work out for them. And that's when everything was moving fast. Like, man, like this really thing could really happen. So senior year was a very different year from the previous.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. And for those who don't know, so you were always in the same position, shortstop, throughout your entire, even like middle school, the leagues, and then going into high school, or did you start with like different positions?
So I always played shortstop on the small fields. Once I got to the big fields, I actually played with my brother, my older brother, and he played shortstop, and I played second base. So we had the Peñas up the middle. He was always better than me.
Really?
So he always played like above me. But he was older. Like I always played with the older guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played second base as well.
Wow. Okay. And then obviously because I know baseball, but I'm definitely not an expert. So that was is it when it comes to that type of situation in baseball, you decide like if you want to play that position, or is it sort of like a situation where the team is like, you play this best, so we're gonna make you do this? Like, were you always destined for shortstop, or do you feel like you could have been better at where you started with the different base positions?
I mean, I say everyone's got their position, but the team decides where you play. So you could be a shortstop, but if they need you at second base, you willingly will do that. And that's how I felt with the classical team. I felt like there were no egos where if you're a shortstop and your travel ball team and now you get to classical and someone else is playing shortstop, you're going to be like, I'm not going to play if I'm not a shortstop.
Yeah.
I felt like we were all willing to try different positions to put together the best team possible, and that's why I think we had the year we had.
So now fast forwarding.
Before we fast forward, what? Because this is the point in time now in high school where you're really aspiring to be somebody, right? What were the workouts that you were doing by yourself? What was the regimen that you would have for those who are aspiring to get there? They're in high school right now. What was that regimen for you? What was your father teaching you or showing you or telling you? And what was that mindset that you had that was strong enough to say, I'm not gonna take these opportunities right now, even though the opportunities are coming right now? What was that? Like, what was that mindset? What was the physical work? What was the mental work?
Man. So sophomore year, like I said, when I started taking it more serious, I'll show up to school early and I see these dudes running pickup games. It's early, like hours before school started. These dudes running pickup games at the basketball court. And I would go into the gym and peek my head in, say what's up to the guys.
Yep, they always
and
do
then
that.
go eat breakfast, go to the cafeteria. And then I was like, bro, if these dudes could get up early to run pickup games, why can't I get early and get some work in before school?
Mm-hmm.
So what I started doing was I started waking up early, and I would grab my tire. For those of you who don't know, I had this tire where I would wrap it with a rope, because we don't have sleds. We don't have fancy equipment. So I had this tire with a rope. I'll go to the field, Arter Wing, really close to my house, and I'll do sprints with the tire behind me. I'll drag pull the tire, and I'll do that in the mornings, and I'll get dressed, take the bus to school, go to school, get out, go to baseball practice, and then guess what? We had baseball practice with PSL as well. So it was like nonstop the whole day.
Jesus.
And then you had to do homework, and that's when I tell you that, I didn't really start taking school a little serious.
Yeah, because you're like, this is not baseball. What I gotta do this for?
Right, but at the same time, I knew how important school was, because if I was trying to play at a Division I school and I couldn't get in because of grades, but the coach wants me, then that's gonna hurt me.
100%.
If I can't get in because of grades.
100%.
So I always try to make good grades, but the focus was always baseball.
Yeah. Okay. So then fast forwarding to now, the actual moments of you potentially, becoming like or let's state the question this way better. When was the actual moment that you realized, wow, I'm possibly going to be in the MLB? You were getting scouted, but was there a specific moment prior to draft, prior to everything, that you felt like, oh, damn, this is definitely going to happen?
So we always dream as kids, and my dream has always been to play in the big leagues. And it looks so far away, You know, it looked so far away. And it didn't matter what you did, it was still far away. But something my dad always told me was, you want to have a great year? How do you have a great year? You have great months. You want to have great months? You have great weeks. You want to have great weeks? You have great days. You just stack up great days on top of great days. And by the time you look up, you had a phenomenal year. And that's what I started really putting into practice was stacking great days. All right, today I'm going to have a great day of workouts. I'm going to do what I have to do in school and then go to sleep, wake up in the morning. I'm going to have another great day. I didn't want to put the pressure of it's so far away. How am I going to do it? It was just, I'm going to do the work today. I'm done with that day. Let's go on to the next one. Do the work today, go on to the next one. And I think that mentality really made the journey a little easier because you feel like you achieved something at night. Like you had that great day. It's like immediate gratification. Like you feel the achievement that day. But if the goal is to get to the big leagues, you go to sleep at night, it's like, I'm still not in the big leagues. You wake up the next day, it's like, I'm still not in the big leagues. But when you take it day by day, you could go to bed like, I achieved today. I won today. You know,
you're working at it. You're working at it. Wow. So when was this moment, this phone call or this moment that happened where it clicked to you, you know, and you were like, shit, this is this is definitely gonna happen? Was there sort of like a relationship that you formed with someone? It could have been literally with the Astros, or was it someone else that had involvement in the MLB at the time?
So my senior year, when everyone was getting ready to graduate, you know, handing in, you know, last-minute assignments to cross the stage, I was doing pre-draft workouts.
Wow.
So my parents would drive me. They drove me to Philadelphia, New York, Buffalo.
Buffalo's next to Canada.
Yeah, way up there. And I was doing pre-draft workouts. But again, I felt behind to the other players. I felt like
at the workouts.
Like I felt like I was had the hands, but I didn't really stand out. So I ended up getting drafted the day before graduation by the Atlanta Braves in the 39th round. You know, not a lot of people know that, but you know, my close friends know. And graduation day, Mr. Palazzo comes up to me. He's like, hey, congratulations on the draft. That's huge for the school. Like, what are you going to do? And my initial response to him was quick. It was, I'm going pro.
Going play, yeah.
Like, I want to play. Like, I'm going pro. Like, this is my dream. And my parents are like, what do you want to do? And I look at him like, this is it. Like, my dream is waiting right here. Like, I could touch it. And my mother, my father, they told me, I think you should go to school. Wow. And again, I'm like, what are you saying, man? Like, my dream is to play in the big leagues.
Don't want to waste more time.
I don't want to waste more time, right? This game doesn't wait for anybody. You know, the game keeps going. I think you should go to school. The scout calls me. Hey, what's your decision? Like, what are you going to do? And I told my man, can you please give me more time to think about it?
Yeah, it's a life decision. Right.
So he gave me a month. Wow. He gave me a month to decide.
He said, like, I got you. I'll give you a month.
He gave me a month. And you never hear about it because kids either know if they want to play or not. So they either turn it down or they take it. But I was so in between that I told the scout, he's like, hey, he told me, hey, I know where you're coming from, but you need to make up your mind. You know, you got to be a man and make the decision. I was like, please, just give me a month and I'll get back to you.
How old were you at the time for perspective? Was it 18?
I was 17.
17.
I graduated high school at 17.
Wow.
And I played in summer ball in Connecticut for that month. It was a collegiate summer ball. So my head coach at Maine had that connection to that team, and it was all college players. So they were older than me. And I'm living in Connecticut with a host family. The first time I'm away from my family, and I'm sleeping on the couch, like just playing ball, going back to the host family, and I'm struggling again, dude. Like, I could not compete with these guys. And these guys were not superstars. Like, these guys were just average college players. And at night, dude, I remember I was crying one night, and I was telling myself, like, bro, if I can't play here, how am I going to play pro ball? Like, none of these guys are playing pro ball, yet they're dominating me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Maine. I'm going to prepare. And I'm never going to have that feeling again of not feeling like I was ready.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when I made my decision to go to the University of Maine.
So you wanted to make sure that you were ready. Why Maine?
So the process for schools happened early for me and happened quick. So it was my sophomore year. We were practicing. Me and Frank Salcedo, he was my summer coach. And he asked me, hey, have any schools contacted you? And I said, no, I don't have any offers. I don't have any schools looking at me. He's like, well, my little brother, Jonathan Salcedo, he's a catcher at the University of Maine. I think we should make a scouting video, send it to the coach, see what he thinks. I'm like, yeah, great idea. Let's do it. So we make a video, send it up to the coach. 2 days later, he's at my practice.
Damn.
He came right down. He was like, hey, I want to watch you catch ground balls. And I want to watch you hit. And we did a workout in front of him. He stayed for a game we played the next day. I remember I made an error, and I was freaking out. I'm like, all right, he's not going to.
You blew it.
He's not going to want me. And then I remember the whole game, I was just paying attention to him. Like, I wasn't even paying attention to the game. Like, I was looking at him through the side of my eyes, and he was on the phone and walking around. And I'm like,
The stereotypical thing is like, well,
yeah, and I'm like, man, like, this dude does not want me.
Yep.
2 days later, he invites me for an unofficial visit to Maine. And I stayed with the Jonathan Salcedo kid at his apartment and took me around campus, you know, showed me campus. And they're like, hey, we want you. We want you. I was like, yes, I'm coming. Like, that was my first offer and the first one I accepted. Like, I didn't wait out to hear from other schools. Like, I just said, yes, let's do it. You know, and then my senior year, I grew. You know, I got a little stronger. And when there were talks for the draft, all the other schools started showing up, like URI, Boston College, UConn, St. John's. You know, they all started showing up, and at the time, Boston College was a powerhouse.
Yeah.
So everybody wanted to play at Boston College. But, you know, I had a moment of reflection where I sat down and I told myself that coach from Maine, Steve Trimper and Nicholas Durba, they saw it in me before I saw it myself and before all the other schools saw it too. You know?
Yeah.
They saw it when I was a skinny kid where I couldn't really hit. And that's what drove me to stay true to my commitment, because I could have backed out and went somewhere else. But what made me stay true was that they believed in me before any other school did. And even though Maine was freezing cold and not the powerhouse school, I still felt like they were going to give me the opportunity to play, which that's what I wanted to do. And they were going to give me the opportunity to get better and go into pro ball. So that's how I made my decision to go to Maine.
And for those who don't know, how long did you last at Maine?
3 years.
3 years. And what was your journey through Maine? Like, stepping in there as a freshman and then your final year, what was your entire experience there at Maine?
So freshman year, you know, I got to Maine, and you know, a lot of coaches do this where they do whatever it takes to bring you into the school. But once you're in the school, now you're just one of the guys.
Yeah. It's up to you now.
When they're recruiting you, you're the special player where everything revolves around you because they tell you everything you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So you commit to their school. But once you're there, you're just part of the team.
Yep.
You're not special anymore.
Yep.
You know, and that's how I felt. You know, I got there and everyone was as good as me or better than me. Everyone was stronger than me. Everyone was faster than me. And the first day we have a team meeting, he calls me out and another player out to stay after. So everyone leaves, and it's just me and another player. And he told us, you guys are my shortstops. Like, it's either going to be you or you playing shortstop.
Oh, my God.
So you guys are competing against each other. And that's the first time I'm like, damn. Yeah, but I'm like, damn, this kid's a beast.
Yeah, the pressure's on.
He's coming from Miami. Like, he played at this Division I school, state champs. And I remember going and watching his highlights on YouTube. I'm like,
good.
this dude's the truth, bro.
Yeah.
And funny enough, he was my best friend leaving the school after.
Wow.
You know, but at the moment, like, we kind of had that
rivalry.
That's
You
natural.
know, and
What's his name? Shout him out.
Danny Casals. That's my boy till this day.
Yep, I think I've seen him. You repost him a couple times, definitely.
Right, so it was me and Danny Casals, and in the scrimmages, we'll play short. He'll play second. Then I'll play second. He'll play short. I play third.
Wow.
I've never played third before, but he's just throwing you around. And that's the first time in my life where everywhere you went, every position, we had dudes. I'm like, dude, can I even play here? You know, and yeah, opening day, he told me I made the team. You know, they put the roster up. We're going to Clemson. We're going to play at Clemson, and you're going to be my shortstop. So since that day, man, like, Danny Casals played second base, and then he ended up being a third baseman and signed with the Milwaukee Brewers as well. So
Wow.
it's cool, man.
Wow. And then, so now fast forwarding to your last year there at Maine and the draft coming up. The second draft, because that's another thing. I'm sitting here chilling, but my mind is blown. I never knew the actual fact that even when you look it up, unless it's probably there, it's probably harder to find. Maybe it's not there. I don't know. I didn't see that in these couple weeks doing research and stuff. I didn't see that story at all of you being drafted right away out of high school, but then declining the offer and then going to school. And it's like God's timing, because obviously you see how everything's aligned now, but when you hear it back, it's like extremely fascinating. Your story is like, wow, there's so many layers to it. But now going to the second draft, how did you feel? Was there pressure? Because it's like, okay, here we go again. And it's like, at this point, I mean, technically there could be a chance of you having to deal with it a third time, but it's like you don't want to deal with that because, like, you know, at that point, it's like the chances are way, way more slimmer. So how was that experience going from, you know, in that moment of your last year at Maine and now, okay, the draft's coming up? What were the rumblings that you were hearing? What was the emotion that was going through your mind?
So going into junior year, I knew that I was going to get drafted. I just didn't know where. But I knew I was going to get drafted. And
What made you say that at that time?
Was there teams like hitting you up?
The
like
coach.
that-
so
that
you always
came-
had the scouts,
Yeah.
you know, talking to you, reaching out to you, doing the questionnaires, doing the eye tests, doing the reaction tests on this computer. And so you knew you were getting drafted,
getting
but
looked
you
at,
just
yeah.
didn't know when.
Okay.
And going into junior year, that's when I had to double down. You know, I started eating more because what my knock was that I was skinny and I wasn't strong. So, you know, I started lifting, you know, eating more, put on some weight. And, yeah, the season, we had a great year. You know, I had a great season. And, yeah, they came up to our conference tournament. I remember, and I never spoke to the Houston Astros.
Really?
Pre-draft. I never spoke to the Houston Astros. Spoke with every other team except with Houston.
The team that drafted.
Pre-draft workouts with the Blue Jays. I thought the Blue Jays really wanted me, you know, and yeah, the Astros never really reached out to me.
So when it came to, like, so that was all a surprise to you, the actual draft night and everything, when it came to, like, they being the ones that select you and everything, it was all, like, you had no sense of, like, oh, I knew I was going to possibly go here at all.
So let's go back couple weeks before draft night.
Mhm.
We're doing pre-draft workouts. I get invited to Buffalo, again with the Blue Jays. And Pete Holmes, scout with the Blue Jays, he liked me. You know, he wanted to draft me. He just didn't know where. So he invited me to a pre-draft workout in Buffalo with like 6 other players. And other workouts I've gone to in the past, there have been like 50 players. but this time there were only 6 of us.
Exclusive.
And all the scouts were there, the front office, the GMs. So I'm like, dude, this is it. If we're here, it's because they really want us. So we go through the workout. Again, I have good defense. Hitting, I was in the mix, but I'm not going to wow you in practice. Running, I was always decent. And, yeah, I had a pretty normal workout. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was just average. So when draft night came up, I was expecting the Blue Jays. Like, Blue Jays were my team. Every time the Blue Jays came up, I would pay more attention to it. And I knew I was going to get drafted in the first round. I knew I wasn't probably going to get drafted in the complimentary rounds. But I had a better idea of what I was going up against. In high school, I didn't know what I was going up against. Yeah. Now I've seen the college players that I get picked in the first round, and I've played against them. And I'm like, that dude's not better than me.
Kind of match up. Yeah, match up a little better.
That dude's not that much better than me, So when draft night comes up, I'm in the couch, pretending like I'm not watching the draft, acting all nonchalant with my parents, My dad was really into it. And we're just watching it, and I'm just sitting on the couch, like pretending like I'm not even watching, and the Blue Jays call. And they asked me, hey, the complimentary first rounders are getting picked soon. Are you willing to take less than slot money? Like, we would like to take you, but are you willing to take less?
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah. What? I was like, yo, just pick me. Like, that's all I want to do. Like, I just want to play. Like, yes, sir, let's do it.
How less would it be for people who don't know, for perspective? What would that slot money kind of entail total-wise?
I think the slot money for the complimentary round was like $1 million.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, bro, you serious?
I'll take a little less.
Give me half and take the rest.
Take a little bit less.
But I was like, yes, let's do it. Like, I was so excited. Told my dad, like, yo, the Blue Jays just called me. Their pick is coming up. And it was like, with the whatever selection, the Toronto Blue Jays select, they name another player. And I know the name, but I'm not going to say the name. I took that name to heart.
Messed up, Blue Jays. You guys messed up.
We all know the name.
We all know the name.
It took another player. And, it hurt, because it got me kind of excited. And then, let me down. So I stopped watching the draft after that,
And that was round 1?
That was the complimentary picks after round 1. So they do the first round, then they do like 10 more picks after that. But it's still considered kind of like the first round.
Yeah.
So, they didn't pick me. My agent called me up. He was like, hey, man, like, it's a bummer, but, we got picked day 2. And I knew I was going day 2. I think the Red Sox had me slotted in round 4. The Blue Jays, I think the Blue Jays had me slotted in the 4th round as well. So I'm like, all right, I'm going in the 4th tomorrow, second day.
How was that night of sleep before? Like,
it was tough. It was tough because you thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So the next day comes up, same thing. My parents are watching the draft again, and I'm in my room. I'm not even watching this time. Folding clothes, doing laundry, and I never do laundry, bro.
That's the first time you
My
ever
bro was on
folded
Indeed and everything. Was like, yo.
I'm just trying to find a way to
escape your mind.
Instead of reading his first book.
To get away from it.
Yeah.
And I'm over here folding clothes and
playing some J. Cole in the background.
Some Drake.
My agent calls me again. He's like, hey, man, I just got a call. You're either going to go to the Cleveland Guardians, the Astros, or to the Cincinnati Reds. And they were all like back-to-back-to-back picks.
Oh.
So I'm like, whoa, all right, cool. Hang up. Still not watching the draft. And my sister sprints into the room. My mother sprints into the room. The Houston Astros drafted you in the 3rd round. Oh, my God.
Let's go.
Dude, like, I stopped folding clothes right there, dude. I was like, I don't need to fold clothes anymore. But, I hugged the family. And, man, it was a special day for sure.
Oh, my God. Yeah, man, your life changed forever. And that was 2018. 2018.
Yes, sir.
2018. So then, in that moment, you felt like, okay, not mission accomplished, but okay, now this is what I wanted. I'm in the big leagues now? What was that moment, that feeling?
So the feeling was, now I can invest everything I have into just baseball.
Yeah.
I don't need to balance school. I don't need to, I don't need to
Worry
balance
about
other
nothing,
things.
yeah.
I don't need to worry about anything else but baseball. So it was kind of like weight off my shoulders and let's get it done. Let's do it. So there was a lot of feelings the first 2 days, because they flew me out the day later to Houston to sign the contracts, a bunch of physicals. And once I signed that contract, dude shook my hand, gave me a hat. He was like, yeah, you're going to Troy, New York, and Albany, and that's where your first assignment is going to be. That's where you're going to play.
Wow.
Hey.
And that was real. That's when I was like, this is it,
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Wow. So then now, fast forwarding, because obviously your situation, and I feel like in baseball is more unique than most sports, to be honest, especially the main ones, because there's definitely a D league in basketball. But for the most part, when they sign the players, they have them on the team right away. The rookies, they have them on the team, whether they're on the bench, whatever the case may be. But in baseball, you weren't right away on the official team. So what was that process of, break it down? What was your, the following year, your involvement with the Houston Astros organization?
So for the people that don't know, baseball, we have levels to go up. Just like the NBA has the G League or the D League, we have, rookie ball, we have single A, we have double A, we have triple A, and then you have the big leagues. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I didn't know that many.
It's a lot.
Damn.
And then we have the Dominican League as well.
Yes,
So
true.
those kids that sign internationally, they're coming all the way from the lowest of the lows.
Mhm.
And when they get to the big leagues, they've already gone through 6 different levels.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough. That's why they say it's the percentage of people that make it to the big leagues is so slim that it's tough. But my first year was in Troy, New York, with the Tri-City Valley Cats, and that was short season A. So that was like rookie ball for the draft guys. It was like a season that starts midway through the year, because that's when we draft, and then they just throw you there, let you kind of feel out your first year. It's like a half a year, and then you come back the next year and play your first full season. So they threw me in that, short season, and dude, I think that's the lowest I've ever been in my life. Bro. Like,
Really?
that's the lowest point of my career, bro. Like
Really?
it wasn't even that I was struggling, but I had stress fractures on my shins. I felt like I couldn't tell them because
Injuries already and shit. Yeah.
right, you don't want to
Just got
tell the
picked up.
organization because they're gonna say, "Yo, we just drafted this kid. He's already hurt."
Yeah, he's unvaluable now. He doesn't matter much.
Right, and I'm like, all right, it's my first year. I can't be hurt. I gotta play through it, and I find a way to just play through it. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Like it got to the point where I wake up in the morning in bed, and I'll contemplate walking to the bathroom.
Wow.
Like I'm like, bro, I gotta pee, but do I really need to take those steps to the bathroom? Like that's how much it hurt. Like
Wow.
my shins. And my head coach at the time, Jason Bell, shout out to him. He's one of the best coaches I've had in pro ball. He saw me limping in practice, and he would see me like trying to fight through it. He would ask me like, "Yo, you sure you're okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there's nothing I've never had before. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm cool." And it kept getting worse. And he was like, "All right, go check it out. Go to get an MRI, and let's let the doctors look at it." And when he came back, I had stress fracture, so much inflammation, and they put me in a boot, and my season was over. They put me in a boot, my season was over. But they usually, when you get hurt, they send you down to our spring training, which was in West Palm, to rehab. But they left me with a team. Till this day, I don't know why they did that, but they left me with a team, and every day when I was just seeing people playing, and I was just on the bench where I couldn't really do anything. It was tough. Like at night, I would just be like, what am I doing? Like, am I even built for this? Like, I was contemplating everything, like second guessing myself. And we come from a culture where you can't really open up about that.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't call my dad and be like, I'm down, like, I'm sad.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we come from a culture where it's like
You
you're a
gotta push
man.
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're a man, you just push through it.
Like, what are you sad for? You got everything you got.
Exactly,
You knew
like-
yeah.
And dude, I would cry at night. Like, am I really built for this baseball life? Away from everybody, in the middle of New York,
Alone.
by myself, alone. And all my friends having fun, and I'm over here in bed, like contemplating my life. Like, everything's not adding up how I envisioned it. And yeah, you know, I just grinded that year, man. Like, I just grinded that year. Try to get the workouts. I get them in how I could. Try to do something, because I was just going crazy. And we ended up winning a championship that year. You know, shout out to those players. They put the work in, you know. But going into that off season, that's when I was like, all right, like,
Get my shit together, you know.
I'm gonna get my shit together. You know, I'm gonna get my shit together, and like, we ain't gonna have those lows. You know, we gonna make this happen. So that first year was a learning point for me, for sure.
So that first year was 20. What year was this?
2018.
2018. So then, coming back 2019, you're healed now.
Exactly.
What was the experience there, and were you still in the same position when it came to the minor type of leagues? Were you still in that same position, the same process, and just doing a year there again?
So they actually called me in January and said that I was going to be part of the minicamp team. And for those of you who don't know, the minicamp team, it's like 10 to 12 players that come into spring training earlier with the big league guys as like a backup. So in the beginning of spring training, the big leaguers don't play the full game. You know, they play
2 innings.
Yeah,
3
they play
innings,
2-3 innings, get their at-bats in, and then the filling guys come and finish the game. You know, and that's what I was doing. I was like, whoa, like, that's cool. Like,
Say you're one step away. You're
Right,
right,
I'm like,
there, yeah.
bro, like, I'm on mini camp, like,
Official
got to
team.
meet all the big leaguers. And I remember my first game at Port St. Lucie versus the Mets. I'm shaking, dude. Like, I'm shaking. It's a spring training game.
Wait, is this when DeGrom or is that 2020?
No, that wasn't the ground. That was a different year.
Okay.
But I was in nah. But I'm there and I'm catching ground balls with all these guys. You know, I remember Bregman was at third base, and I was kind of like, whoa, like, that dude's right there. Like, I watch him on TV, and now he's next to me catching ground balls. You know, and caught ground balls with them. And Joe Spada, our bench coach, he kept me there. Hit me ground balls. Like, everyone wants a hit. He kept hitting me ground balls. And he told somebody, I don't know who he told. He told me this when I got to the big leagues, that he told somebody that he wanted me at minicamp every single day. So it was,
Damn.
they'll give you a day at minicamp with the big leaguers, then they'll give someone else an opportunity, then they'll give someone else, and then you come back like the fourth day. But he was like, I want him here every single day, every single game as a backup. So I'm like, what does this guy see in me? You know, so I didn't really have spring training with the minor leaguers. I was always at minicamp with the big leaguers. And when the first season started, you know, I started off hot. When they sent me back to the minors, like, I was already hot. You know, I was with my chest out. Like, I already played with the big leaguers. Like, I feel good, you know. So I had a really good season. Midway through the year, made an all-star team. Got called up to Fayetteville, North Carolina. You know, I was playing Iowa before that. You know, in Davenport, Iowa. Got called up to North Carolina, and, you know, finished a strong year. So that second year was like my welcome into pro ball. Like, this is what I could do.
Yeah.
You know, this is where I showed the organization what I could do.
Oh yeah.
And y'all got another chip too that year, right? Like that's
Made it to the finals. We lost in the finals,
just
man.
there.
Last game. That was high A. That was high
Wow.
A. Man,
That's amazing. Yeah. And you probably obviously felt like, okay, you, especially being in minicamp, being around the big time names that you saw growing up, is like, okay, now I feel like I'm stepping in the right direction. Now transitioning to that third year, what was the actual, you know, process in the moments transitioning from, you know, a successful, year at the high A, now transitioning to the third year there?
So my third year, I went into spring training. I got invited to the big league camp this time. I was in a mini camp no more.
Okay.
I was in the clubhouse with the big leaguers.
The big boy camp.
With the big boys.
Yeah.
You know, my locker, I had Carlos Correa to my left, had Alex Bregman to my right.
Wow.
And I'm just here, dude.
Crazy.
And, we're just practicing and COVID hits. That's when COVID hit,
That is true.
It started off as a doctor or some dude came into the clubhouse and he was like, hey, this is what COVID is. This is where it started. This is how it's affecting people. This is how it's spreading. Just don't sign anything for the fans. Don't high-five fans. We're going to keep playing. Second day comes up. Dude comes back in. Hey, this is COVID. Now we are going to wear... Nah, we didn't wear masks. They were like, all right, this is COVID. We're not going to... We're going to stay away from each other. We're not going to... Same thing, don't high-five fans. Stay away from people. Use hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
And the third day, I was like, all right, spring training is canceled. First, it started off with college. College just started canceling their season. And we're like, what's going on? And then it was, all right, everyone pack up. You're going home.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to start in AA that year. And COVID hit. We all went home. And the season picked back up. The big league season picked back up. And, later in the year, they only played 60 games. But they got the season in. And they put me on, an alternative site where you're there in case the big leaguer gets COVID or if they get hurt, then they call a player up from the alternative site. So that was my third year.
Wow. That's amazing. Listen, man, you definitely faced obstacles along every single damn moment. It's like God kept testing you because, this is the third year, the biggest moment potentially, obviously, being big time with the big times. You got your lockers next to them, everything, the moment's real, and then boom, the world happens, natural, pandemic, something that you can't control.
Right.
And
it wasn't just me. It affected everybody.
Everyone, right?
It affected everybody.
Yeah.
And then it was just a matter of, what are you going to use this time for? Are you just going to go home, sit on your butt, and wait for a decision?
Yeah.
Or are you actually going to use this time to your advantage and get better? And the way I saw it, I went up to Maine, because Maine, when the school's not there in the summer, it's kind of like a ghost town. So when people left with COVID, it was kind of like a ghost town. So it was perfect.
Facility to
exactly.
yourself,
We had the facilities, and there were no people there.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, that's the perfect opportunity for me. We found a barn that had a cage. We were hitting that barn, dude, all day. And, man, that was...
Wow. A barn, though? Like a real deal barn on a farm?
It was a barn, someone's backyard. Dude hit us up. Hey, we have a cage.
Wow.
And we hopped in that barn. They had a machine and everything, like a pitching machine.
Damn.
And yeah, man, we got it done in there. So
Well, for a circle moment, coming from the kid at the farm in DR, now you back at a farm, potentially in the big league, prepping yourself for the next moments. Wow.
Is that when you really got big? There's a point when you really got big.
Started eating.
I mean,
started eating a lot of Raisin
when you
Canes.
had COVID, he's just eating, working out, and playing video games. That's when I put on some weight. That's
Bulking
the
up.
first time when I wasn't really all out all day. Usually my whole life I've been going at it all day, but that was the first time where I would get my work in, and then it was like, all right, let's play some video games. And yeah, man.
And what was the weight change for the people who don't know? What was do you recall the numbers? How drastic was this weight change that you went through?
I do. So going into college, bro, my freshman year going into college, I was 150 pounds.
Damn.
Soaking wet,
What?
bro. 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my freshman year to sophomore year, I was at 165.
Mm.
And then I was at 175.
Wow.
And it was 186. That's where I drafted, at 186. Then after my first year pro ball, I was 194, 195. Then my second year was 203. And right now I'm 206. So
Did you have a goal
Big body.
weight that you were aiming for, or was it just when you felt right? I'll stop here when I feel right, when I'm feel good right now.
So I never really thought about the weight when I left college. In college, I really made an effort to put on weight. But once I got into pro ball, the focus was just to get stronger, get faster, and then putting on weight was just a, product of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it was. Like I didn't really focus on putting on the weight.
Every time you came home, you're just a little bit bigger. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Now, I mean, speaking about weights and shit, and we see some of those pictures, you coming out the water, that picture is like straight chiseled.
Hey, good angles, bro. You gotta get the angles, bro.
But like, what are you benching right now? What's your bench? What's your squat? Like, you feel me? Are you in the gym going crazy or?
Erlen's trying to outbench you right now.
There was a moment.
The thing is, I don't really bench. I do like dumbbells.
Curls.
Like
and
I don't
shit,
do the bar
Okay.
benching, but my bench is not good. Like probably bench 95s on the floor. Like I don't really do it on the bench either. Like I do it off the floor. But
How many push-ups can you do, like in a row?
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's fine.
It's the real questions people want to
Want
know.
to do it right now?
that's what we got.
Contest right
How
now.
many you got?
Vic got like four for you.
Probably like 30. Probably 30.
You can't hit 30. Vic,
My boy's been at Edge
30,
Fitness, yo.
30.
He's been
I think
working.
you got
yeah,
me
30,
beat at
30 would get me gas, bitch.
Really? No, you could do more than 30.
I think the most I've done push-ups at once, no break, was 50.
Okay.
That's the most I've done, like repping them out. And
But without thinking about it, though, like without putting una meta.
I don't know, man. I feel like when I, that's tough, man, because I can't really.
Let's do it right now.
Rep out.
Let's do some push-ups.
No.
Let's go, Vic. Let's see it.
Peter, get the camera. Get the camera, Peter.
Vic. Got the.
You gotta adjust this
This
one.
nigga do this, goddamn. This nigga trying to relax. This nigga's trying to relax.
Damn, bro.
This man said, what off season?
Coach just comes out the ring.
Nigga, imagine this nigga like rips his pectoral. We got
Start it off, Vic. Start it off.
How's it looking there? It's looking good?
Whatever Vic
I don't
does,
even
you
know.
just gotta match it. Inside,
you
that's
want-
all.
yeah,
Yeah, so
whatever
whatever
Vic
Vic
does,
does, just match it.
14.
Yeah, that's a good.
Am I good on
angle.
camera?
Yeah, you're
Nah,
good.
yo,
You're good.
wait.
Nah, you're
We're
set.
doing on this camera, straighten out your
Nah,
back,
you're
bro.
set.
Straight out
Straighten out
Straight out your back.
There you go,
Yeah,
yeah.
over there.
Tighten up your butt. Tighten up your butt like butthole.
Yeah.
We good?
Clench.
Yeah,
All
go.
right, there you go.
Hey, 1, 2, 3,
You're not hitting 30, bro.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
You hitting 30?
19, 20, 10 more.
30, boy.
10 more, 10 more.
2,
8,
3. You got it. 4.
There you go.
5.
There you go.
Six.
There you go. Hit 40, hit 40.
7, 8, 2 more. 9.
One more. Sorry for down you,
Dizzy right
Vic.
now.
Sorry for down you,
My
bro.
boy's dizzy right
I
now.
didn't think you could do it. You did it.
Now let's go.
I think he got me beat.
Is it?
Think about knock this shit out.
Say, JP,
Nobody eat this shit like cake.
man, 10 seconds,
Nobody eat
yo.
this shit like cake. Clapping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be clapping.
I love how
Brian's
Vic,
gonna antsy. Brian's gonna antsy. I know. Look at him. He can't control himself. You can't.
1,
Oh, this nigga's jumping off the
3,
ground. Nah, this is bullshit.
4, 5,
This nigga's
6,
jumping off the ground.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
I got you,
18,
Victor.
He said that's light.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Like,
And one for good measure right there. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
I thought I was chilling.
off season, ain't no off season.
Never that.
I'm warming you up for the Spanish team, the Dominican team. I'm warming them up.
Damn, bro.
Get him an extra bottle of water.
Listen,
Yeah,
man.
that's how we get that late night grind right there.
Oh, this camera's messed.
Listen, man. I shocked myself there because I haven't been to the gym in like a week.
Yo, Victor, I swear, I didn't think you could do it.
You think I do it,
I didn't
right?
think you could do it. You did it though. Fuck that shit, man.
Listen, I'm 175 right now. I'm 175. 170. I lost 5.
I'm 175.
I
So let
lost
me
5.
ask a question real quick. So, 2020 is the COVID year, right? You're just training. So the end of the year, are you going to? Is that the year that you go to DR and you win rookie? Is that the year or is that 21?
That's the year.
That's the year?
That's the year.
That's really, I feel like that really catapulted you into really being considered behind Correa, like immediate behind Correa. Because that was an incredible season. You won Rookie of the Year for the league of La Liga Dominicana, right? The whole league, la Liga entera.
Right.
Wow.
So
Let him catch his breath.
damn, bro, got me gassed. But, so yeah, you know, COVID year hit, and we didn't have a minor league season. You know,
Yeah.
The big leaguers only played 60 games. The minor leaguers didn't play. But I was blessed because the year before I was drafted into the Dominican League, so I had that opportunity to play winter ball.
Yeah.
You know, and being a Dominican kid, it's a dream.
Oh yeah.
So I played, you know, I had a good year, won Rookie of the Year there. And the competition there, I always say if you could play in the Dominican, you could play anywhere. Not just because of the talent, but because of the atmosphere.
Yeah, everyone
Like-
wants it. Everyone there wants it. Every single one.
Like, that's where you learn to play winning baseball.
Yeah.
That's where I learned to play winning baseball because, dude, there people don't care.
Yeah.
If you go 0 for 4 and the team wins, everyone's happy. You have a good game and the team loses, no one cares you had a good game.
Yeah.
It's about winning. So, like in the States, we have football, basketball, boxing. You know, we have hockey. We have all these sports to look forward to, you know? But in the Dominican, all we have is
Baseball.
we have rappers and we have baseball players.
Yep.
You know, there's nothing else.
Yeah.
So the fans look forward to the Dominican season all year. And when the year comes, it's over, dude. So if you could play there in that environment, I think you could play anywhere.
Yeah, because they bleed baseball. There's something about the Dominican culture in baseball that I feel like through the end of times, from the beginning, forever, all of my childhood, still in adulthood, my parents, they always talked about Licey or lo Escogido. Like, it's always like a thing about picking a team. It was like Bloods and Crips almost. Like family members would be mad at other family members because they liked the other team. Like, the Dominican baseball teams is serious.
It is, bro. It is.
Bro.
Yeah, you're up in a set.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing with Cano.
You know, Cano, yeah, I mean, when those guys came in to make our team stronger, like, it was a blessing for me to play with Cano before the following year because I learned so much from him.
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing it forever.
It's a legend.
Like, whatever you want to do in the game, he's done it. You know, he's a world champ, you know, Silver Slugger, you know, Gold Glove, All-Star, you name it. And then he was there, turning double plays with me.
Yeah.
You know, and it was great talking to him. He's a humble dude, hard worker, and that's what made him even better. Because you get to this level, and you're still hungry. Like, I called him the veteran with adrenaline of a rookie. You know, like, he was already a veteran, but he was still hungry like if he was a rookie. You know, and, you know, I gravitated towards him. You know, I gravitated to his work.
And taking it back to keep it chronological, when it came to your time, right? So obviously it's obvious, everyone knows. So in 2020, there was a huge controversy that happened with the team that you obviously became a part of, right? So there was, and correct me if I'm wrong with people in the room, because like I said, I'm not an expert, but I definitely know when it comes to Maine stories, especially what happened here. So they were fined, I think, $5 million by the MLB for a cheating scandal. They got proven, but it happened. This is the Houston Astros organization, but it happened obviously before you were there. Everything, I believe, 2017 was it 2017 when they 2016. I'm not an expert.
15 or 17. One of those.
Yeah,
years,
right. Pardon if I'm out of breath, because I know a lot of people probably gonna be watching this. If you guys are watching this clip separately, go watch the full interview. Jeremy and me. Well, I beat Jeremy at push-ups. I'll say that. I beat an MLB star at push-ups. Mama, I made it. But when it comes to this time, objectively speaking, you yourself looking at it, like, all these obstacles I've gone through in life, and then I'm a part of this team. I love the people, but now this happened with the team. I had obviously no involvement. It was prior to my time here. But people are now probably going to put, by default, more of a spotlight on you because you're new to the team and they're gonna fucking like, oh, this is the team that had this fucking situation, the controversy that literally went from rumors to like legalities, like it's public information, everyone knows about it, right? So what was your mindset like? Okay, I'm here, but this is happening. Because I'm looking at where if I'm you, I'll be frustrated because like, fuck, here's like another obstacle. Like without you realizing this happened, it's a natural situation. Everything that you got is like God throws you hurdles. And then here's another one right here. Or did you not look at it as an obstacle? What was your perspective? Jeremy Peña, you know, becoming a part of the Houston Astros, coming from this pandemic year, successful years in camps, etc. But then this happened. It's all over the news. And you are a part of the franchise.
So the way I see it is, I'm just there to compete and play with my teammates. You know, I was there to win games.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the mentality the whole year. You know, since spring training, the mentality was, we have the team. We've shown that we could do it in the past. Now it's, let's show it again.
Yeah.
So going into the year, my focus was never on outside distractions. It was just, I'm going to go to war with the group of guys we have right here, right now, in this clubhouse. And, you know, that's what it was. You know, it was just going out there, playing my game, and, yeah, competing.
And what was the pressure, or was there any pressure? What was the feeling inside this locker room at this time? Pardon the interruption. This video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, a sports fantasy betting app that we have fallen in love with and you can use. And there's a promo code that you can use as well called Ambition. The promo code Ambition, or you can click the link that's in our description or in our comment section. But talk about Underdog, Earl, and I'm going to show the people as you talk as well what happened with you.
Underdog Fantasy, you know, us being from Rhode Island, we don't have a lot of sports betting things, and Underdog Fantasy is one of the best apps out there. I'm not that type of person to be looking at numbers, odds, this and that. Like, I just know that Darren Fox today is going to drop 30 points. You know, that's what I'm feeling. Gobert's going to get under 12 rebounds. That's how I'm feeling. And I have a little extra cash around. There's a couple times where I tested it out. My luck, my right hand was itching, you know, the money hand. And I chose 5 picks. So with those 5 picks, I put in $50. And it times my money by 20. So as you can see, they're legit. They cash out. I won twice back-to-back, so I was feeling real lucky. $50 got me $1,000. With our promo code, use promo code Ambition. They'll match up to $100 that you put in. So that means if you put in $100, you use our code Ambition.
Free money.
Free money, they'll give you $100. So now you have $200 to, you know, try your luck on. And it's a legit app. I love sports. I'm a sports guy, so I love predicting things. And sometimes I have some extra cash where I'll flip it on the Underdog Fantasy app.
If you guys are looking to make some quick money and you actually are into sports, this is a fun way to do that. Try that out without much risk. There's technically more reward here than risk when it comes to the comparison of other sort of apps, because they have this insurance policy that they will match your money even if you know, get 4 out of 5, let's say, on a pick'ems, similar to parlays, but not exactly a parlay. You will be able to get your money back. You're going to be able to get $40. Let's say you put the $40 times 2. So you're going to get the $40 and you're going to be able to get another extra $40. You're not going to make this thousands or whatever you could have made if you hit all 5 out of 5, but you're going to get something. And that something is going to be worth more than nothing. Yeah. So they have this insurance policy, Underdog Fantasy. I recommend you guys doing it. Checking it out, especially if you want to check out the Underdog insurance policy. You will be able to not risk as much money as you would on other apps, and it's fun. And in Rhode Island, you can do it. I know a lot of people in Rhode Island love using the Rhode Island Sportsbook application. Underdog Fantasy is another one that Rhode Island needs to use. You'll be able to bet money, and it's a fun way of doing it with Underdog Fantasy. Use our promotion code or visit our link in the description and in the comment down below. Click the link right away and it sends you to sign up to Underdog Fantasy. Very, very interesting. We're genuine fans. We reached out to them and now we're here partnered up with them trying to spread the message to you guys. Join Underdog Fantasy right now. Now back to the video. Where you're part of this team now that has, you know, this burden because, like, obviously there's still a great team, but that did happen. But then after it got cleared, that settled, they never stopped being a great team. And now you're a part of it. So what was your mindset or, like, your feeling in the locker room? What was the conversations? Like, what was everyone's energy? Did they feel, like, more pressure? Like, we got to prove these people wrong. They think like we're cheaters or we're always cheating. They think like that's the only reason that we won. What was the actual pressure that you felt? Because you were around these big time, you know, household names that were around the situation, but then past it, they still were successful. So what was the energy inside this Houston Astros locker room?
I feel like everyone knows we have a great team. Everyone knows it. You know, people that don't like us, people that do, they know we have a great team. So I felt like this year was just letting people know that we still have a great team. And it was we have Hall of Famers on our team. You know, we have up-and-coming superstars. And
I think one's called Jeremy Peña.
No, like, all jokes aside, like,
Yeah.
like, we always had a great team. Yeah. So it was just a matter of showing it again. So
y'all knew you could prove that the championship was won legitly too. Like, there was the talent there for the chip. Like, it just now just showing them again. Like, all right, you know, we got that same team again, so we're gonna show you that we're winning again without any help or anything from. Yeah.
Right. So for me, I can't really speak on that stuff because I wasn't
before,
there.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't there, so that's none of my business.
That's pre-Jeremy Peña.
But all I could talk about was this year and all the work the team put into the season. And
definitely a championship team. That team was crazy.
Exactly, bro. Like, we had every piece necessary to have a special year, and the beautiful thing was that we put it together.
Yeah.
And we didn't flop. Like, we actually proved what we knew we could prove.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you recall, like, any moments yourself being there? Like, was there any instances of, like, I would assume, like, heckling from people and even throwing that out there, the cheaters, and even mentioning you without, like, just because you had that, you know, you were part of the team, so the opposing teams would be there yelling that at you, and especially your first games, like, as a rookie starting. Did you ever experience that, and what was, like, the emotions, like, going through your mind? Like, how did you brush that shit off and, like, have such a successful year?
I mean, of course, you know, everywhere you go, the fans are gonna do their thing, and, like, me personally, I like it because it keeps you in the game. And I feel like if the fans are not into the game, then it's not the same. You know, I feel like when you play stadiums like Yankee Stadium, Fenway, where the fans are on their feet the whole game, then, you know, that's the beautiful thing of our game.
Yeah.
I feel like if every stadium could be like that, this game would, sky's the limit. You know, so it's fun.
No, 100%, man. And if people want to question or, like, not count, let's say, the 2017 championship, they can't question or doubt this one. So I think you guys did the right thing. And even going back, you know, talking about pieces, another controversial question, back-to-back with them, guys, back-to-back. So when it came to your position as shortstop, everyone to this day who is in baseball fandom, you don't even have to be an Astros fan, but especially if you're an Astros fan, this situation that happened with the prior person at your position, Carlos, playing shortstop. I believe he was there for 7 years, I want to say. 7 years. If I'm wrong, comment down below. I don't care. I'm not an expert. But I believe it was 7 years. And then transitioned. He left the team. I believe he was traded, right? No. So break it down. I'm not an expert. See, I caught myself. So he was a free agent. So then he got picked up by the Twins.
Right, he signed with the Twins.
He signed with the Twins, right? Because his contract was over. He's a free agent now, so he signed with the Twins. So then everyone right away ran with the narrative Jeremy Peña is replacing Carlos. Jeremy Peña is here to replace Carlos. Carlos is replacement, right? And what was this, what's the actual truth? Obviously, we've seen instances. We can assume like you guys have had a relationship or friendship because you saw it. There's pictures of you guys together. But what was the actual truth from the horse's mouth yourself? What was your experience with Carlos and that moment of quote unquote replacing him? But in reality, what would you define it as, that moment that happened?
So, Carlos Correa, since the first day we met, he kind of took me under his wing. He would always do early work, and he'll call me with him. He'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go catch ground balls. Come catch ground balls with me." We just talk about everything. Not even just baseball. We'll talk about life, get to know each other, and I learned so much from him. Doing practice, he would strive to be perfect, and that's something I took from him because he's one of the best in the game.
100%.
So, I admire the way he carried himself, the way he would go about his work, and yeah, we always kind of pulled for each other. And what people don't know is that last year when we got eliminated in the World Series, when we lost the World Series to the Atlanta Braves, everyone saying bye to each other, in the locker room, "Oh, have a great off season," saying their goodbyes for the rest of the year. And he actually called me over, and he gave me a hug in the middle of the hallway.
Wow.
And he told me, "Get ready this winter. You're going to winter ball. Work on what you have to work, because next year, I think you're going to be the man.
Sheesh.
I think you're going to be a key piece to this team next year. So do what you have to do and come ready to spring training to play that position."
That's fire.
Wow.
And dude, that moment to me was eye-opening and surreal. And I took that to heart.
Yeah.
I went to winter ball that year, and my main focus that winter was I got to prepare for the big leagues. I have a real opportunity to crack the team, and when I crack the team, I don't want to experiment. I just want to crack the team and hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to the big leagues and try to fill out the league and then start doing my job. I wanted to get there and do my job right away. So
Feel prepared.
Right. So it was just preparation.
Do you think that him giving you that kind of heads up set you up for success?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so because, and even at the time, I was still not sure because there were negotiations going on, and so even at the time, I still wasn't sure, but I still prepared if he wasn't coming back. It was still not sure.
Because he didn't say it, and at that time, he didn't even announce it yet, right?
So, right, he was still negotiating with teams. And so when he signed with the Minnesota Twins, I was like,
okay,
it's real.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It's a team.
It's crazy, as a fan looking in, you said you had that year where you was an alternate, just in case somebody got injured. So we saw you a lot on the bench. So as a fan looking in, it's we kind of saw a glimpse of, they're kind of showing his face a little more. There's something going on that he's gonna be a part of this team, and it's crazy to hear that confirmation was from him. Telling you that, and nobody was talking. There was no chats with coaches or anything. It was him telling you yo. You've been up here for a reason. There's a reason why your face is being shown around, and it's this is yours now, bro. That's good that he gave that, blessing to you. Instead of being mad, damn, another person coming in, he knew himself, he was going, and still showed you that love. So that's pretty fire.
He's passing the torch.
Yeah,
passing the torch.
That's crazy. That's
right, and that speaks on him.
Yeah,
his character.
That's a lot of respect.
He didn't have to. He didn't have to do
He didn't
that.
have to do that.
He didn't have to do that. So, he's the man.
That's nice. Yeah.
Was there any involvement by Dusty Baker in that, because we were seeing you in the playoffs and photos with Dusty and stuff. What was that process? What was that relationship with Dusty? Sort of, how did that work? They inviting you down to the playoffs to be on that extra roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that process like with Dusty, and how did that Correa and Dusty relationship push you forward?
Was that up to him or?
So I think it was up to the organization, because they probably had an idea that I was going to crack the team this year. So they wanted me to experience playoff before I played in the playoffs. So they wanted me to experience a little bit of the big leagues before I got to the big leagues.
Yeah.
So I wasn't shocked when I was there, and I say that helped me these playoffs, because last year I saw what it was about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it wasn't a shock when I saw all those fans and all those reporters and all those cameras.
Felt natural.
It was
now.
like, I saw this last year, and I wasn't playing last year, but I could visualize myself during the game, putting myself in those situations. So when the situations came, I felt cool, calm, and collected.
My
Yeah.
boy was in that bench like, yeah, I'm winning this MVP next year. Yeah, that's fire.
So, but breaking down back to the relationship with Dusty Baker, the legendary man who has done it all in MLB, but this is his first championship as a player, I believe. Oh, not as a player, as a coach. Here I go, fumbling again. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I'm just kind of like him. But when it comes to that relationship, like Eric mentioned, Dusty Baker, the legendary man, what was that relationship with him? Like, everyone in baseball has always mentioned him, and you're there with him, like having literally arm over shoulder conversations. What was that, relationship with him? How did that affect you mentally?
So before I answer that, I'm going to give y'all a fun fact.
Yeah.
So Dusty Baker's first game managing was against the St. Louis Cardinals. And who was leading off that game?
Your
My
pops.
father.
Your father.
And then Dusty Baker's 2000s win, I was on his lineup. So that was
Full circle moment.
crazy, bro.
Wow.
You can't script that, bro.
That's moving.
Wow.
Shit, yeah.
You can't script that.
That's crazy.
So Dusty Baker, he's a role model, dude. Like, he brings the best out of his players. All his players love him. He's you just gotta play hard for him. All he wants from you is to play hard and play fearless. If you play hard and play fearless, then I could accept whatever the result is. But I'll just play hard and
Yeah.
you know how they say your life away from baseball is always longer than your life in the game. But that doesn't apply with Dusty, dude. Like, this dude played in the big leagues for however long,
Yeah.
and then he managed for however long. Like, this dude's been on a baseball field his whole life.
Yeah.
So he's seen people come and go.
Decades.
So when he
decades.
talks, you listen, bro. Like,
Yeah.
when he talks, you listen, because he's seen it all.
Yeah.
He's seen it all. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh man, listen, you were part of real deal situations. Like, that shit must have been incredible to experience. And then now going back to, you are now officially the actual shortstop on the Houston Astros, right? Your rookie year starting. All this controversy, whatever gets added now with the situation that you even clarify now that people didn't know with, the Carlos Correa. Or, well, actually, going back to the Carlos Correa, there was a moment that is like a myth online on YouTube. Every time people bring it up, there was an actual moment when, I forgot the exact game, but you did so well in the game that afterwards they wanted to interview you. And then Carlos was working for TBS at the time, so he was the one that ended up interviewing you. So there's this theory online, this awkward interview. Oh my God, this awkward moment between Carlos and Jeremy. What was this moment in your words? Was it actually awkward? Do you know that he was going to interview you? What was this actual feeling? Like, what was the truth behind this? Because you mentioned he kind of metaphorically or subliminally passed the torch to you in a sense. He showed you love. But then after you left the team, was it still that while you were in that moment? Did you have a relationship with Carlos and it wasn't as awkward as the internet's trying to make the narrative?
Right. So I didn't know he was going to interview me. When they told me I was getting interviewed, you said it was TBS? I'm not sure.
TBS,
I'm not sure what it was. But, they go through their lineup. They go through think it was Curtis Granderson, you know, a bunch of legends in the game, and then Carlos Correa happened to be on that panel. And it was cool. You know, it was cool because it was kind of like you saw this last year when we were here, and now you're in it, you know, and it's like, you know, keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like he was pulling for me. You know, that's what it felt like. He reached out to me after we won the World Series.
Really? What do you say? Or you don't have to say obviously what it was, but kind of even summarize it. What was his kind of like energy and his messaging to you after winning the World Series, Carlos?
It was just like, hey, congratulations, man. Like, this is special. Like, this is why we all play, you know, to win the World Series. You did that your first year. You know, enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And then now you got to do it again. You know, it's like now you got to, like, ball out next year.
Yeah.
You know, this year's in the past. Like, now you got to really do it again. So
yeah. So the interview wasn't necessarily awkward in your perspective. You felt like it definitely was like okay, it's cool. It's like, oh, it's cool. He's rooting for me. Look at this. Almost like a mirror effect. You felt like, oh, you were here, there, then you see this happen. Because people almost painted it as if, because he's still obviously playing. And this year, he had a great year. You guys, and I'm not sure if you checked the stats, but I checked them. You guys had very identical stats this year. Statistically, even when it came to home runs, it was exact. I believe it was 22 for the year, both of you guys. So this is a great player nonetheless. But in that time, people created this narrative almost as if he retired and now was broadcasting and now he's looking at you like, oh, you know, this whole situation. But in your perspective, no, he was rooting for you.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's a class act.
Yeah.
You know, an example to follow. And yeah, it was not awkward at all. It was just a cool moment.
Wow. So now transitioning, and let's play this clip. I want you to react to this live with us. So,
Oh man.
Jeremy Peña. No, nothing crazy, guys. I'm not gonna pull up no TikToks or nothing. But unless David wants to pull up some TikToks.
Listen, people stumble upon
Listen.
it's fine. I'm not gonna.
I don't know if you know, Jeremy, but you are one of the main topics in our group chats. We follow your career, but also David's TikToks. David's TikToks are one of the main topics in our group chats.
David's TikToks.
Yeah, we're not
What
showing
TikToks?
They're not my TikToks.
You gotta show him.
They're not my TikToks.
Don't try to act shy now, David.
They're not my TikToks. I didn't make them.
Hey, man,
I participated. I didn't make them.
David's getting a bag. Listen, so here we have it. Your first home run in the big leagues. What was your reaction to
Wait,
this?
hold up. Before we get to that, can we break down the game before? The game before is your first game. This is your second game.
Oh, so it was the second game.
This is the second game in the
As a
Major
rookie.
Leagues. And your first game, it was a hell of a game. I was watching the shit out of this game. You faced Ohtani.
Oof.
Did he win the Cy Young like the year
Nigga,
before?
Ohtani's won every award.
He had a big year last year. Last year was a huge year
Ohtani
for
was
him.
made in the lab. And so he's throwing these sliders. And you can't hit these sliders. How was that your first major league experience and you're facing somebody as great as Ohtani, throwing some shit that is like, whoa.
100-mile-an-hour fastball.
And were you using scouting reports
I
and
use them.
tablets and everything to get your edge on this guy?
I mean, what is there to say?
I couldn't even see.
I mean, man, it was my first game, and I was already nervous enough that I was making my debut. You know, I was turning this dream into reality, and now you have Shohei Ohtani on the mound to top it off. But it's cool because it doesn't get tougher than that.
Yeah.
You know, so you face Ohtani your first at bat, and you're like,
That's
all
one of the best pitchers there.
that's
yeah.
one of the best pitchers in the league. So what comes after that, it's
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, he
Did like Altuve tell you to like give you like advice or what was your like?
nah.
Edwin asked, did
yeah.
Altuve give Jeremy any advice, and what was his game plan going into it?
No. So I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I was swinging 3 times regardless.
Why this nigga swinging? That shit's a mile away.
Hey, regardless, bro. Like,
One of these swings is
yeah, I was like, he's gotta throw me something, bro. Like,
How was that night? How was that night you had to go to bed? How was that night's sleep?
See, the thing is, it was cool because
You completed your game.
Because
your first
not
game.
even the at bats. Like I wasn't even thinking about the at bats. I was just like, I
I'm
played my
here.
first big league game, and it wasn't even about the at bat anymore. It was like, bro, I just played in the big leagues,
It's just a moment of,
you know, and like we won the game,
Yeah.
and I got my first like game ball and like your debut ball, and it was like a full circle moment. So I wasn't really thinking about the at bats, you know. I was like, all right, it's just three. Yeah, it's just three at bats, and we'll get back at it tomorrow. So, yeah, but he's tough, man. Shout out to him. It's impressive what he's doing right now in the league, you know, as a pitcher and as a hitter. You
Yeah,
know, not
first
just
two
doing
in
it,
a
not
row.
even
Do
just
everything.
doing it. Like he's doing it at such a high level that, like you said, that man's made in the lab.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So
Hall of Fame right there.
I looked at my brother and I said, "This is fine. Don't worry about it. The next day he's gonna come hard. I know this nigga. He's gonna come back the next day. He's gonna work, and the next day you have this."
Next day, the following day, your second game as a rookie for the Houston Astros.
Crazy moment.
Talk about a kismet moment, God, divine moment, especially when it came to not just what you did, obviously hitting a home run, but the way that it was captured by the broadcast team and everything that happened in this moment. We can play it right here live.
Is it connected to?
lead 4-2. Speaking of the
Me personally, I cried at home. I teared up. I was like, this is, what the hell just happened? I think we might have been out, actually, and we saw it on our phone. People were texting that it happened. But watching it back, I was like, I was so emotional. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Because this is like a sports history moment. But then it happened to you, and it was like, oh, what the hell is going on? What was your emotions at this time? You know, because you hit your home run, and obviously, I'm assuming at that time, you couldn't see, like, your parents being interviewed. Did you know that was
Right.
happening?
right,
No.
So I had no idea that was going on.
Yeah.
So going into that second at bat, I was already riding high.
Yeah, you got the
because
first
I
hit,
got my
so-
first big
yeah.
league hit the at bat before.
Mm.
You know, so I'm already on top of the world. You know,
Yeah.
I got my first hit out the way. Now it's like, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I hit the ball, felt good, and as I'm running, I'm like,
That shit
it
kind of
might have
flying.
a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
scary.
it might have a chance to go. You know, and when it went over, I was like,
Sheesh.
oh, like.
When it over, you were like, I'm him.
Nah, but it was cool, man. Especially being greeted by the teammates in the dugout. You know,
Yeah.
too, they came up and gave me like
That's
a little hug, and
Yeah.
Bregman as well. And
It's just that's just
That shit was crazy.
like being his parents, your parents being interviewed. That's what made that whole moment like, oh my god, because it was like yo, I bet you're getting an interview. Like, what's next? What how else can we make this movie better? And then boom, to hit that home run in front of them and see the reaction and stuff. Happy. That's movie stuff, yo.
right, so even when the game went on, I guess they put the camera on me, and Verlander came up to me. You know, he sat next to me,
Another legend.
and he told me, he's like, "Hey, do you know your parents were getting interviewed when you
Jeez.
hit the home run?" This was like a couple innings after. He's like, "Do you know your parents were getting interviewed when you hit the home run?" And I go, "Shut up, bro. No, there's no way.
Shut up, Verlander.
Like you got
One of the best pitchers of all time.
like,
Shut up.
They got that. I didn't say shut up. But
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I didn't say that. Nah, but I was like, "Yo, there's no way." Like, and he was like, "Yeah, man. Like they got your parents' reaction on camera when you
Yeah.
hit the home run." So after the game, that's the first thing they asked me. It's like, "We're gonna play this video for you." They played the same exact clip, and they were like, "What are your thoughts on that?" And you know, that's a moment I can go back to for the rest of my life.
For your life.
Dude. And like seeing that, seeing my parents react like that. My dad never speaks English, and he was saying happy. Like, it's probably the only word he knew at the time.
Man.
It was cool, man. It was cool.
Nah, that's something, man. Even think about it makes me tear up because like your legacy forever, your son's son, man.
Yeah.
You did it, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Cause it's all we fuck. Here we go. It's all we do it for, man. Our family. Whew. Let me calm down.
Especially all the support, all the hours you put in, everything. Like, you know, it led up to this moment. That's a wow.
Man, especially your father coming from the MLB, having the career he had, seeing you as a son, and then witnessing that before his eyes, right there, it's like you can't script that shit.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that makes people believe God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
For
right
sure.
there. So, man, that fuck. God bless, man. And then after this began the Jeremy Peña takeover.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I know you're very humble, but let's talk about it. What a year. Break down this year, your experience becoming, you know, Spanish people call it un toque de queda. Everywhere you went, you were on sports news because of your success. Right away, there was talks of you potentially, you know, getting Rookie of the Year, you know, nominations. People really believed in you. But then it's one thing to believe and then for you to prove them right. And you had a successful year. You know, let's talk about the regular season. Jeremy Peña, the shortstop for the Houston Astros. What was your experience at the regular season prior to the playoffs, prior to winning the World Championship? What was this first rookie year regular season like for you?
So this being my first year, you know, I had a lot of firsts. I had a lot of firsts this year. You know, it was my first time going to all these stadiums. My first time actually grinding with the team for so long. Like, it was a long season, bro. Like, and it was my first time having to, you know, kind of build like a routine to play all those games and then be ready for the playoffs. You know, so what made it easier for me was the people around me, you know, my teammates. Like, from the first day, I would gravitate towards them and ask them so many questions, and they were so open with me, like, hey, whatever you need, come up to us. Like, there's no egos here.
Yeah.
You know, we're all trying to win.
Yeah.
You know, so I always felt like I could go up to any of them and ask them questions. And for advice, tips, hitting, fielding, life, you know, and I say they made the journey so much easier.
Wow.
You know, they made the journey so much easier. You know, and this year was not easy, bro. Like I said, we sacrificed so much. You know, we sacrificed so much. You're always on the road. You know, you're always playing. You get in to Seattle at 5 a.m. You know, you sleep till 1 or 2, take a bus to the field and play that night. Like, people don't know that.
Wow.
You know, you get into a place and at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., now you got to sleep a few hours and go play.
And that's even after a game in another city, right? You would just
Right.
get on a plane and right away go.
Right, so, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we do. And we wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard, but at the end of the day, it's a beautiful, beautiful journey. And, you know, we're all happy we do it because a lot of people dream of being in the position we're in. So we don't take it for granted. But this year, man, there were, you know, ups and downs. You know, there were ups and downs, and it was just a matter of staying in the moment.
What was one of the biggest obstacles you faced throughout your regular season that the public might not even know about, but it was like real to you? Like, this shit, damn, this is happening during this actual moment right here.
So I felt like I dealt with like minor injuries all year. You know, even when I came here to Fenway, and I was excited to play in front of y'all,
Yeah.
in front of my family, in front of my friends. And then,
Yeah, he just. Yeah, off mic, Edwin's talking about, because we went to this game, we witnessed Jeremy come back, homecoming game back in New England, and yeah, right away when we sat down, we had to sit back up. We're like, oh shit, he just hit a fucking home run, bro. What the fuck? We just walked into this shit, and it was my first time at Fenway ever. I'm like, this is overwhelming. I was looking at the guys tearing up like, what the fuck? We got sausage and peppers in my hands. I'm like, bro, I can't even eat right now. What the fuck? That just happened? And it was like real. But you saying even during that time, behind the scenes, you were facing minor injuries. What was what was the situation? What was the injuries?
so I just felt like I couldn't catch a break, bro. Like,
Was the shin thing kind of coming back? The stuff that happened in prior?
So it was not the shin. You know, I dove, and I hurt my thumb. I slid into home plate, scraped my eye, collided with Jordan.
Yeah, I remember that
Went
one.
out with, you know, concussion protocols. And I feel like it was just like tedious little injuries that I would miss time just because we had to be cautious. so we don't have any
Further injury, yeah.
right. So, like, I feel like I could play, but we had to take it easy
Yeah.
because we wanted to be ready for the playoffs. And that's the first time where it was like, we're playing to play in the playoffs. You know, so I had to learn how to pace myself. Like, I've always been an all-out dive here, dive there, you know, and that's how I fractured my wrist, actually. You know, like, diving for balls when I shouldn't have dove. And that's what I had to learn to do. It's like, in this situation, maybe it's not the smartest idea to dive because it's not going to make a difference in the game.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get to the ball, but he's still safe at first. You're winning by 8 runs. What's the point? You're going to get hurt.
There's more risk than reward.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that's something I had to learn to control. You know, because my whole life it was just go, 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 go. You know, sprint as fast as you can every single time, dive for every single ball. And now it was like
Pace yourself.
knowing the game, knowing the situation. You're still gonna dive. You're still gonna sprint. You're still gonna play hard. But it's knowing
The right moments. Yeah.
exactly.
Load management, yeah.
So I think that was the biggest
Hurdle.
learning piece of the season for me. So.
Wow. And then was there any key moments that you remember? Obviously, we had with Carlos prior to the season starting, but was there any key moments with any significant player that you had throughout the regular season prior to the playoffs that stood out to you that you'll, like, kind of take away for the rest of your life? Or was it too many to even remember because there's so many damn legends on that team?
So many, bro. I felt like every single day it was great advice after great advice after great advice. But what I take with me is not what they told me. What I take with me is what they do. You know, because I felt like the leaders we had in the clubhouse, I call it rah-rah. They weren't rah-rah. Like, they weren't mouth.
Yeah.
They were leaders based off actions. You know, so, like, I'll take Jose Altuve, for example. Like, Jose Altuve doesn't say much. But then he shows up, puts the work in, and he goes off, plays his butt off, and then he does it again the next day. You know, so even though he's accomplished so much in his career, he still plays hungry. He's hungry.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gravitate towards that, like Alex Bregman. It was 1 a.m. after a playoff game. You know, we're playing the next day. I get a FaceTime call at 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, why is this dude calling me at 1 a.m.? And he was looking at scouting report. He's like, hey, bro, this is this. This is, I think you should look for tomorrow. Like, I was looking at all your videos. I was looking at, he didn't have to do that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
He could just focus on his report and what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to worry about what they were gonna do to me.
Yeah, he's getting paid to play his game. He's not getting paid
Exactly.
to help you make your game better.
Exactly.
It's
And,
very selfless act.
bro, he would take me into the video room all season, like show me what to look for, and he didn't have to do that.
I don't know.
You know, he didn't have to do that. So, you know, and that speaks about our team, bro. That speaks a lot about our team. I think that's what made us great this year. That guys were willing to help each other, and we were pulling for each other. So,
Man.
yeah, man.
Is Jose Altuve shorter in person?
I think he's taller. I think he's taller than you, though.
Nah.
How tall is he on paper, supposedly?
5'6", 5'7".
I don't know, but people sleep on Altuve. Altuve is a strong dude.
I mean,
Like, Altuve is a strong man, bro, and you know he's a giant. You know, he may be small, but he's a giant.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a beast no matter what.
For
But he's
sure.
definitely what is he? I know he's a shortest in MLB this year. But is it history? Is he the shortest in history? No.
Nah, I don't think it's
Nah.
history, but
I think Pedroia was
Pedroia's pretty small.
smaller than him. Yeah. Yeah.
he plays like he's 6'7", bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Heart of a giant. Heart of a giant. Listen, I think I'm taller than him, but we'll keep going. Shout out to him. But now fast forwarding to the playoffs. You make it into the playoffs and you win the ALCS and you win the MVP yourself. So it's not just like, okay, my team's moving forward. It's like, okay, the accolades, you started breaking the records in the first, but now it's like the accolades are really starting to pile up, the trophies. And I believe that was the first one, right? Because that was prior to the Gold Glove, right? So was that your first trophy throughout the season,
Right.
right?
Right.
See, I guess I'm not.
ALCS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
ALCS. Yeah.
See, I guess I am kind of a baseball expert. And now fast forward into your next major trophy, the Gold Glove. And I believe I saw the interviews that you had at that time where you didn't even know that was a thing, that you became the first rookie shortstop to even win this. What was that feeling now retrospectively? Like, wow, like definitely it's about the team, but I would say even when it comes to Gold Glove, is one of the most like individual awards that the MLB has to offer specifically, right? Because it's such like individualistic.
For position players.
Exactly, because it's breaking it down to the position, specific, very niche, and like this is what you did. So it's going down in Jeremy Peña's shortstop history. So break that down, realizing that, and now looking back, it's like, damn, I really did that. I was the first shortstop rookie to actually get that award.
So I didn't know that was history at the time. Like, I didn't know I was the first rookie shortstop to win the Gold Glove, but when, I heard the news that I won the Gold Glove, it was like another like full circle moment, because like I said, growing up, defense was what I did.
Yeah.
I didn't really hit.
Yeah.
So defense was something I always took pride in.
Yeah.
Something I always dedicated most of my practice to was defense.
Yep.
So receiving that award is something you dream about as a kid. You want to be a Gold Glover. You want to be a World Series champion. You want to be a league MVP. You want to be a Hall of Famer. And then to just reach one of those goals, it was surreal.
Man. And do you have it? You got it was an actual trophy that they give it. It's not like, oh, they send you another one in the mail. They gave it to you. That was a real deal one that you have? So
they gave me the real deal one at the ceremony, but we left it there. It's heavy. You can't really carry it around in the airport. Like, I don't know where you're going to put it. But they should ship it out soon.
Yeah.
Wherever you live, so.
Okay.
So I don't have that with me right now, but.
That's awesome. And now fast forward into the Big Kahuna now. You are in the World Series against the Phillies. Did I get that right?
Phillies, yeah.
Phillies, against the Phillies. And there was a point where you guys in the series were down, correct? What was it down by? Was it 2-1? Right? and then me and Edwin specifically, because Edwin's a diehard, he bleeds baseball, right? For those who don't know out there, he was like, man, this is wild, but I think they got it. They're going to come back. Yeah. I was nervous. I'm like, damn. I was like, man, I don't know.
I was scared. Harper was kind of.
Yeah, I'm like, these are legend. This is Bryce Harper's legendary people again. It was like, this is two legendary, squads. What's going on here? And long and behold, you guys turned it around, and especially you had key moments to the point that you won the World Series, MLB 2022, but then also you won the MVP award of this World Series. Break that down, that feeling of being down and then coming back up. What was the mindset that you had being the shortstop for the team, but also the team's mindset? Such a great team, like you're expressing, the kinship, the brotherhood you guys had. What was that, energy in the locker rooms? Was Dusty Baker saying anything specifically? What was going on that made you guys like flip the switch and come back and win?
So, going into the series, like they started off hot, and they were already hot. They were on top of the world, beating the other teams to get to the World Series, beating the favorites.
Yeah.
And so they were feeling good about themselves, and then they kicked our butts the first game of the series, the World Series, at our home. We were undefeated. We were undefeated all playoffs. I think we were 7-0, and then they beat us at home. So, and I believe it was a comeback win, right? They came back and shattered us. But the second day, we bounced back. We evened up the series. We went to their place, and the first play of the series at their place, Altuve hits a flare to right field. Nick Castellano comes in, diving play, sliding play. The stadium erupts. Crazy. I felt like the stadium was on top of me. I felt like the fans were on top of me. And I'm like, man,
I'm getting
like
goosebumps.
these people are serious. Like these fans are serious. And they come up, homer. Felt like they was just hitting homers, 3 homers, 4 homers, 5 homers. And I'm like, bro, these people are serious. Like, these people came to play, and they beat us. They beat us. And then, but that's not the first time these guys have been in that situation. That was my first time there.
Yeah.
But these guys have been to the World Series 4 times out of the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So they've been there before.
So like the Warriors, they always come back.
They weren't worried, bro. Like they weren't worried. Like in the clubhouse, it was just like, all right, we got beat today. Flush that. Let's come kick their butts tomorrow. And that's what it was. Like we showed up the next day, like if nothing happened, and they go out and throw a no-hitter. Like what's a better way to bounce back than to do that?
Straight up shutting them down for real.
Right. Yeah. Javier, lights out. Bullpen, lights out. Presley, lights out. And then it was just up from there. I felt like we had the momentum on our side after that. And, yeah.
Wow. Man, listen, and then now going fast forward a bit more to that moment of, we saw the celebration, but then that game you won and you have the confirmation, damn, we're World Series champions. What was that moment in that arena? What was the feeling running through your mind? Seeing your family, everything. What was this energy that you felt like, fuck, like, this is what everyone wants. This is the end goal. I made it here already in my first year. What was that feeling?
So we were down, game 6, and Yordan Alvarez hits the furthest home run I've ever seen hit. And we go on top, right? And after that, I'm like, bro, we could end it here. We could be world champions after this game. And I'm thinking this as the game's going on. And then I'm catching myself fighting the thought of, all right, forget about that. Like, you still have to win. You still have to lock in. You still have to play. So the innings kept going by. It's like the 8th inning. I'm like, bro, 6 more outs. We're World Series champions. And then it was like, all right, forget about that. Lock in, And then the last inning, bro, it was no thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, I was just at shortstop, like, 3 outs away.
This is it.
And we are World Series champions.
Shit.
Ball goes up to right field. I see Tucker tracking it down. And I remember I just started jumping, dude. Like, you could probably find that video. I'm just jumping.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm doing.
High-ass jump.
Like,
one of the highest jumps I've seen in my life.
Bounces, bro. I got
you got
bunnies,
ups, bro.
I got bunnies.
You got bunnies.
I got bunnies. Oh, no. But, bro, and I'm just bouncing up and down. Tucker makes the catch. I run up to Altuve. We hug, and, man, like, we did the little dog pile where we just jump up and down, and sheesh, bro. Like, that was real.
Man.
That was real.
I remember I had Edwin come over to my crib, watch the game together. We were going crazy.
Bro, it was crazy.
And to think it's still your first year. Like, that's your first year you're going through all this.
Man.
That's wild.
Man. And, the last time I won a championship was that first year in Pro Ball. But I was hurt. I have a ring from that. But I felt like it was still not my championship.
Yeah.
No, even though we won the championship, I felt like it was still not my championship.
Yeah, because like those bench players that win championships, but they didn't start, they weren't involved in the team due to maybe injury, or maybe they just weren't that good at the time, but they still have the championship. You can still call it a champ. You could put it in your bio.
Right.
Whatever you want. It's factual, but then you didn't feel like I don't know I don't know these inside jokes, these baseball inside jokes, but
stop, bro.
he's off mic. He's good. He's off mic. He's good. That's why he's off mic. You never know.
Hey, man, what do you say?
But transition to also you becoming, the MVP, and I was telling everyone, I'm like, he's got to be the MVP, right? Like, what is going on? Like, Did you feel like Michael saying off camera? Do you feel like you knew that you were gonna win that? Like you're like, oh, that probably is gonna be me, you know, because you're very humble, but maybe some part inside you, if it wasn't you, it would have maybe felt weird. Or who would say that maybe it could have made sense for you? Like, oh yeah, I didn't think it was me. I was someone else. What was your mindset right there?
So in the moment, being the World Series MVP was the last thing in my head. Like I was like, bro, we are World Series champions. Like this is why we play.
Yeah.
Like this is what everyone wants to be doing at the end of the year, and only one team gets to do it.
Yeah.
And we were that team. You know, that's what was going through my head. And then as we're getting our shirts, World Series shirts and hats, a random dude came up to me. He worked with the MLB, and he was like, hey, I just want to let you know you won the World Series MVP, so you're going to need to be in the front of the stage.
They warned you.
Right, so they told me before it happened.
Whew, did your heart just start pumping?
Know, so I was like, whoa, bro, like
what did I even
that's
say?
Crazy. You know, that's crazy. Yeah. So, you know, when I got on stage, that's when I really had time to, like, look around. You know, I tried to take mental pictures, you know. Saw my family down there. Whew. You know, looking around my teammates, how happy they were. Saw Dusty Baker. You know, never won a championship, you know, as a manager. And, you know, I started reflecting, dude, on the nights where it was tough. You know, the nights where I didn't want to play anymore. You know, the nights where I was hurt and I had to rehab and I was in pain. And, like, it was all like, man, like, this is where we're at right now. So it was a beautiful thing, you know, but.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, because like you said,
you gave me my feelings, bro.
You got to, man. You got
my feelings.
You
bro.
got to, because, man, if we were, bro, imagine you being there, being the person. Like, I'll faint. I'll literally faint. I'll be like, this is too much. God, too much. I'll be like, God, this is too much. I'm done. Bro.
Been crying and shit.
Oh, my God. It's like, it's just insane. But then you, especially your story, because it could be anyone, but then your story where you literally had moments where you were in bed questioning whether you should even keep playing, whether this is worth it because you feel like you suck, you feel like you're not good enough, you feel like there's too many obstacles, you're getting injured, there's so many things happening, you're looking at your friends doing other things that are not like what you're doing, you feel like FOMO, fear of missing out, like, oh shit, what the but then it's like, damn, everything I went through is all worth it now because I reached the peak of peak in my first year. So it's like, you struggled, you had your difficulties, but then in your first year, all this happens. Takes people their entire career.
Yeah. And some people don't.
Some people don't get it. Charles Barkley, legendary, didn't experience that, but still a legendary Hall of Famer. You know? Mike Trout.
I have a funny story with Charles Barkley, bro.
Oh, let's talk about a Chuck.
So before we keep going, like me and my family, we all have. This is off track though, by the way.
No, you're good. You're good.
Know,
this is your interview.
They all have weird names, right? Like my older brother's Austin, but it's Ostin, Ostin, right? And then I'm Jeremy, basic as hell. My sister's Hasey, like Hay and C, and then my little brother's name is Charos, like Charos, right? Charos. And I'm asking my dad about these names. I'm like, yeah, where you get these names from? And then I'm like, all right. What about my little brother? Like, I get Austin, I get, you know, Hasey, but like Chados, like where you get that from? And this man looked me dead in my eyes, and he was like, he goes, you youngins don't know nothing about basketball, man.
No way.
Charles Barkley used to be like the best player, and I'm like, no way this man just said Charles Barkley, bro. I was like,
oh my
so
God.
to this day, I call my little brother Barkley.
Yo. Listen, so thank you.
Oh, that's a gem right
Thank
there,
you.
It's funny.
Shout out to Charles Barkley if you're watching. Thank you, Charles Barkley. You know, you're the reason Jeremy Peña's brother was named by his father, Charles. But how do you spell it, though? How do you spell your brother's name?
Charos.
Charlos. So it's like Carlos mixed with Charles.
Charles Barkley, bro.
Man, you gotta love that about. You gotta love that. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, man, that stuff right there, that's amazing, man. And your father, he seems like a hell of a character, man. And then how did you have any conversations with him since then? Like him being an MLB, his career. He didn't win. Obviously, did he win a championship? Throughout his career? Did he have any significant like accolades throughout his career that you can recall that he mentions?
See, the thing is that now, so my whole life, it was like, oh, you can't tell me nothing until you play in the big leagues. You can't tell me nothing until you do this. You can't tell me nothing until you do that. But now I got the ring. So now I'm like, I don't want to hear if you ain't got a ring.
Every time Pops talks, it's like,
hey.
That's amazing.
Nah, but it's cool, man. It's cool.
No, I love that you have even that camaraderie and that friendship, with your father, because I think it's very significant, us as young men, young black men, young Spanish men, men of color, especially the Dominican culture, like you stated earlier, like, the stuff that we go through when it comes to the emotional barriers that's placed on us, the stigmas. Having a strong father figure is one of the main things that keeps us going. Without that, bro, we really suffer and we really struggle in life. So shout out to your dad, man. Round of applause for his father.
Hey. Shout out to your mom too.
Yes,
Oh no,
sir.
100%. Shout out to both parents. So now, coming off of all that, let's break down some of the Jeremy Peña DNA. So the Jeremy Peña DNA, what I break it down as, what makes you a star. You have a lot of things that are, specific to you, and it's almost like natural branding without even trying. So we spoke about it earlier, the nickname La Tormenta, right, and how that came from. But now let's break down the iconic, heart.
hey.
Throw it up real quick. Right there, you go.
Yes, sir.
When did that start? When was your first time doing that? Did someone tell you to do that? Where was that created? When was that born? The Jeremy Peña heart.
So it was later in the season, and it started off as like something I started doing for my parents, showing appreciation for my mother, and all the love and all the sacrifices that they've done for us. Like you said, they came to this country to give us a better life. So it's just a reminder that they're there, and that I do appreciate everything they've done for me. So.
And that was mad unique too, because a lot of people, like, you see celebrations, they copy sometimes, like basketball, to throw up the three and stuff when they hit the three, do different dancing. And it's like, now we see another unique thing. It's like the heart now. And it's like, that's so
you.
Crazy. Yeah, that's
and you did that.
She's taking over too. Yeah.
Do you realize, like, kind of like the impact, like the small things, like you even doing that, like kind of like has on your career and like even the culture of sports now, like that thing that you created naturally, like is, it's a part of your DNA now.
And it's cool. Like at the moment though, like you're just having fun. You're just playing the game. You're just playing the game, having fun, competing, and people look at you like a role model, and you don't really realize that until you actually meet the people. But when you're playing, it's just you and a game, and your teammates having fun and competing. But then when I had a kid come up to me at the mall in Houston, and he was shy to come up to me, and I could see him kind of just looking at me and looking away, looking at me and looking away. And I was sitting down just waiting for someone to get out the dressing room, and the mother was like, go talk to him. And he came up to me all shy, and bro, he was bawling, he was crying, dude, like, oh my God, like. And that's when I had a moment where I was like, wow, bro.
It's real.
Like, this kid's crying for me.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on, bro? like, wow, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but that was special, and we don't take that for granted.
Yeah, man. No, it's a beautiful thing that you've established, that kinship, that, relationship with your fans. And even with small things like that symbolism of the heart, something that represents even emotion, going back to the emotion. And, something that even stereotypically, I feel like you won't even see like a man in sports even do that, like throw up a heart. Yeah. But then he does it so natural to him, and it's like taking over everywhere. Like there's even an emoji. I'm not even sure if it existed before you did it. You might own that emoji on the low, or maybe Apple owes you money, but there's an emoji like this now. I'm like, what the hell? When did this emoji come from? I think it was Jeremy. Apple got to pay some money. But then going forward from that, there's more to the Jeremy Peña DNA. One of the things is, I'm calling now. One of these years, let's call now. Look back on this in a couple of years from now. I think probably like in 5 years, you're gonna win GQ Sexiest Man Alive. You're gonna be on the cover. You're gonna be on the cover of the Sexiest Man Alive, and we're gonna be buying it. We're all men in here, but we're all gonna buy it. Let's be honest. We're gonna all buy it. We're all gonna support, and that's gonna happen. But that, mindset of like, now you becoming, what do they call it, like a sex symbol or like this sort of thing. We gotta be honest.
Hold the chicken though.
We gotta be honest because you look up on Twitter, Jeremy Peña, marry me. Thousands of tweets, girls, they want to marry you. You look up Jeremy Peña, girl, thousands of girls like, yo, I saw him at this restaurant. Oh my God, I'm so close to. Houston girls are like, you're the number one guy right now, right? But then you in your personal life, you have a relationship, right? So break that down. Because me, myself, you got the tweet? Let's read the actual tweet. Yeah, so this is a tweet. Shout out to Michael. Michael sent me the tweet. This is a tweet that went viral, right? This was crazy. And it went viral because shout out to Raising Cane's. We're going to talk about that soon, the partnerships. But you were at the drive-thru at Raising Cane's, right? This was about 2 weeks ago. And a female retweeted this saying, let me get the 3-finger combo. Hold the chicken. You see Erland respond, yo, JP. People are saying in the comments, she has no father. But I relate. So what is the reaction? What is the situation, both from yourself and then your partner, because obviously this can be, it's a very delightful thing because who wouldn't want to be complimented, right? And like be appreciated by people online, let alone women if you're straight man, but at the same time you are in a relationship, yourself. I've been in a relationship for about to be 7 years myself. I've gotten some strange DMs. I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten some strange DMs. I'll keep it there.
For the 3-finger combo, hold the chicken though.
They were asking for 3 something else, and it was not gonna happen. No, not with those strangers. Hell no. But then people are weird, man. People are very weird online. But God bless them. Very horny people online. But when it came to yourself, like you have a girlfriend, and break that down, that situation, how long you've been with her, and even like, sorry ladies, your hearts are breaking, right? But then also like, how did that help you? Because we heard how your actual family supported you, but let's talk about maybe her support and her mindset, and maybe you being in a relationship, having you become more disciplined mentally, because I feel like that helps me become more disciplined mentally, because I feel like, 100%. I feel like I have the love of my life. I found the woman that's the mother to my children, my future children. She's not expecting, guys, but one day we're gonna have more. But it's like I feel like I don't need more. Like what else is there more to it? This is a great person. This is all I need. What is your situation and how did it feel and what did she feel and like what was her entire? Break that down, Jeremy. Without getting in trouble.
That's the hardest.
And shout out to her. Shout out to her.
The whole day. But no, the way I see it is.
Let him go. Let him catch his breath. He was doing push-ups.
The way I see it is, like, if you have a nice car, people are gonna look at your nice car.
Yeah.
And you can't get mad if people look at your nice car because it's yours.
I like that.
Keyword yours at the end. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my lady understands that. No. For example, like
the car. Yeah,
she understands that, like, people are gonna look at me.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
It goes back to if you can't even trust me to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then what's the point?
Yeah.
She understands that part. People.
That's amazing.
People gonna look at her.
Yeah.
And I can't get mad for people looking because I know what I have.
Yeah.
It just.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people are just funny. Like it's I go through it, you know, like it's entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, I love our fans.
Yeah.
You know, they're the reasons why we do it. And yeah, my girlfriend doesn't really pay much mind to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we met at school at Maine on my junior year.
Wow.
And we've been there 4 years now. 4 years. And yeah, she understood from the jump that in order for us to make this work, there were gonna have to be sacrifices on both sides. Cause I'm always gone.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's tough.
Very
It's
true.
tough.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in Iowa and your girlfriend's in Florida.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, that's where the trust comes in. You know, because I can't do anything about it. I'm in Iowa, so it's either I trust you or I don't.
Yeah,
You know, so it goes both ways. So that's the way I see it. And she's been very understanding from the jump that baseball is going to take a lot of my time.
yeah.
And now she finds a way. We find a way to make it work.
I love it. I love it, man.
Sir.
Very nice.
I love it, man. Round of applause for men in relationships, because I'm one of them. There's a lot of single men in here. You know,
I'm in a
David.
relationship as well.
David's in a relationship. Shout out to you over there, right? 100%.
Don't say- don't-
Brian. But it's crazy how a lot of you. I'm not even gonna talk about it. A couple of dogs in here. No, I'm just kidding. But man, that's very, very significant, man. I think people don't realize that shit is very strong. The test that your relationship has gone through, you know, and you're still here. And I think it's something that's gonna build you mentally strong, because you need that. You need that, you know, fundamental thing. Because at the end of the day, it's like, she was with you since Maine, so she's seen some of the struggle, some of the stuff that you've gone through. You know what I'm saying? It's like all these other girls just want the 3-finger combo. Like, you know, they just want that, but it's also complementary. And I think, you know, it's without you even trying to become like this star. Like everything just naturally, like it's crazy. Like you can put this in a melting pot. Like successful year, signature, you know, gesture with the heart. And then naturally becoming, you know, a sex symbol without you trying. You're not even trying, right? Or a quote unquote sex symbol, right? From the ladies online, especially in Houston. So it's like all this stuff is like only gonna help your career, but it depends how disciplined you are to handle it. And you're very disciplined and you're very humble. So I think, you know, more power to you, man. You're blessed in so many ways. It's crazy, you know, for real. It's God's work. So then transitioning from this, where this major tweet, everything went viral, these partnerships have happened. Let's start in order. So at least publicly we saw, break that down, the situation with New Balance and how that came to be. And was that another, you know, monumental thing in your career where it's like you are going to be an MLB, but now signing to a team of, you know, a footwear team, a footwear company. You have probably so many to pick from. What made it become New Balance? You are not, and what's your official thing? Are you a New Balance athlete, New Balance ambassador? Do you have a specific title as well?
So I've actually been with New Balance since 2018.
Wow.
That's
4 years.
Since I first got into pro ball. And I've been with New Balance. And, you know, I love their footwear. I love their on-field stuff. You know, that's the main reason why I started using them. I used New Balance in college. The University of Maine is sponsored by New Balance.
Whoa.
So, and New Balance is a Northeast company.
Yep.
You know, so
Based out of Boston, headquarters.
Based out of Boston.
40 minutes away.
So
Send some pairs, guys. Send some pairs. 40 minutes away. Wait, actually, we got some New Balances on, by the way. Got the New Balances on over here. Got David over there. You know, it wasn't planned. We just throw them on because we love New Balance.
550s over there.
Around.
He got the New Balance dress shoes over there. You got New Balances in the building.
Yeah.
You know, but so continue so they're sponsored Maine, but then did you have other options? Was it like phone calls from Nike, phone calls from Jordan Brand, like any situations other than
my first year, it was, you know, my agent told me, hey, New Balance wants to give you a deal. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we didn't really hear out any other companies.
Yeah.
But I think it was last year. I wanted to, you know, explore different companies and
weigh your options.
you know, kind of weigh my options. And at the end of the day, you know, it was about comfort on the field. not really like swag off the field. You know, so then my main focus was, you know, what made me comfortable on the field, and New Balance is the best of the best. So shout out to them. You know, they've taken care of me ever since I signed with them, and
Amazing.
I see they're striving to be the best. You know, and right now I think they're getting up there. So
100%, man. New Balance has taken over
Balance is
pop
fire.
culture. Shout out to our friend Drew White at Bodega. The Bodega New Balances they've been making have, you know, shock culture. The ALD 550 New Balances have become like a staple in like Instagram, you know, fit pics. There's like everyone always in a wooden chair with like a plant next to them and some 550s with some black cuffed up pants is like the stereotypical fit pics out here. But it is because New Balance has, you know, I feel like people get tired of the Jordans and the stuff that's happening out there. I'm not dick riding New Balance. I'm being honest here, guys. If we're being, I'm a part of this reselling game.
Trying to get New Balance sets of pairs.
some exclusive
Maybe I am.
Sponsor the podcast.
But I'm in the resale game. We're reselling New Balances now. It wasn't like that a couple years ago, you know. So shout out to New Balance. And now, aside from New Balance, how about Raising Cane's? How did that come to be? Were you a Raising Cane's, you know, consumer? I love Raising Cane's.
I love it.
You think I love New Balance? I love Raising Cane's.
Oh.
I love Raising Cane's. It's some of the best chicken I've had in my life. I think it might
Where you have some Raising Cane's?
in Chicago.
Chicago.
So when I went to Chicago, I've always heard of Raising Cane's in Boston, but it's always packed, very long lines. But when I went to Chicago about 2 months ago, I fell in love with Raising Cane's. It was early in the morning. It was breakfast. No one. It wasn't open. I'm like, there's no line. I'm like, is it open? Oh, it's open. Let me go to Raising Cane's. First time ever. Kind of a bit pricier. It's not no Wendy's. No 4 for $4, right? I'm like, fuck it. Let me pay. I gotta try this shit. Even my son, we ate it together. Shout out to Ocean. We ate it in the hotel, in the Airbnb room. We ate it together. Afterwards, he loved it. I loved it. The sauce was amazing. The chicken, the tenders, you dip it in the damn sauce. What's that sauce called? You know the sauce. It's coming next year. They're bringing one to Rhode Island, so I don't gotta take long trips. Yeah,
No way, bro.
you gotta cut the ribbons.
Yeah.
So how did that come to be? Were you in love with? Were you consuming Raising Cane's, or was it that they talked to you and you're like, oh, you saw the brands and the brand and your brand, both brands making sense to work together?
Right, so that's pretty much how it went. You know, I love Raising Cane's, you know, but it just came as in like an event we just put together.
Yeah.
You know, they got in touch with my agent. You know, we planned the day, what we were gonna do, and yeah, we just got it done. It was cool, man. You know, the city showed out.
That was amazing. That was amazing, man.
It was cool. That's the first time that I've had a real job. I've never worked in my life.
How long was your shift? You were 9 to 5?
40 minutes.
I thought you were there for the whole day. They said he's taking over the day. He was in and out in 40 minutes. Oh my God. No, that's a full circle moment. Like the first day that you know, God willingly and blessed you again, that you actually, you know, had to work this sort of job, you know, was ironically when you are promoting this company. You're a face of this company now. And how is that going forward? Is it like you can just eat Raising Cane's for the rest of your life for free? Like, what's going on here? Is it like that type of situation, or is it just something that, you know, might be just short term? What do you see with this?
I feel like it was just something we did in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of bring light to the city and like to the World Series champions, like the Houston Astros. So it was kind of just getting stuff done around the city to connect the fans to the championship team, and yeah. So I'd say it was like a moment thing. But
is Raising Cane's huge in Houston?
I think it's big in Texas.
In Texas in general.
Yeah, because the first time I had it was in Texas. And Sugarland, Texas. So.
Wow. And breaking down, going now to the Houston connection, you seem to have definitely embraced Houston culture fully. You know, people go to teams and go to cities and they don't have very pleasant experiences, or they don't express it if they have a good experience very much. Some people are very quiet about it. You know, we had instances where people, Kyrie in Boston, it didn't work out. There's teams that you go to, you might mesh with the team, but the city is just like not there. But for you in Houston, it seems like you're almost damn near Houston native. What is going on in Houston? Why do you love Houston so much? Aside from being on the Astros, express to the people your love for Houston.
So it's not even just my love for them. I felt like they showed love to me since spring training, even before I was with the team.
Yeah.
And you could see the connection between the team and the city, and the city's invested with the team and the team's invested with the city. Like, it's a beautiful thing. Like, not many teams have that where their fans are there every single day of the week. Like, when it got to playoffs and our stadium was sold out all year.
Yeah.
So it was like, these fans have been showing up all year.
All year.
So now that in the playoffs, it's like, it was normal to us.
Yeah.
So, shout out to the city of Houston. So many great things happening right now in the city, and our fans are the best. We gotta keep showing out, keep doing it.
Man, it's amazing because you connected with the top dogs. Like, you got a free grill from Johnny Dang, one of the most famous jewelers of all time. He promised it. It was a bet he made with himself. He committed. He fulfilled. You said off camera, behind the scenes. So it's not done fully, but you got the molding. It's being in process, done soon. So eventually we're gonna see you. Probably posting a photo, maybe walking around with the grill. In picture. But aside from that, even you got a free chain from Trader Truth. Shout out to Trader Truth. I don't think people understand how significant this is. These people in Houston, like, they're not just stereotypical. These are people that live and die Houston culture. Like, if you really are familiar with hip hop, rap, black culture, everything that's going on in Houston, these are the most significant names. And you're just casually now, but rightfully so, because you showed them love and they showed you love, becoming a part of this fucking, you're a citizen there. Like, it's crazy. So even that, connecting with these people, how has it been meeting these people that I'm pretty sure you've at least had some familiarity with when it comes to Johnny Dang or Trader Truth?
Of course, man. It's like they put on for the city, and then we as a team put on for the city, and it's like, how can we find ways to keep bringing the city up?
Yeah.
It's kind of like what y'all are doing here. I love what y'all do, bro. Like, you guys built this thing from the ground up, and y'all ain't stopping now.
Hell no.
Y'all just getting started.
Appreciate it, man.
And, bro, it's just that. Like, y'all in love with the city. Like, y'all relate to this city, to Providence. And you're never going to forget, no matter how big you get, you're always going to remember this right here. You're always going to remember your car. Like, doing your, starting off with.
Yeah, Eric doing the reactions.
Doing the reactions. Like, that's what it's all about, man. Like, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, man. I love that, these people. Another significant getting tongue twisted in here. Significant person that represents Houston. Many call him Mr. Cactus Jack. Many call him, I guess just Travis Scott. But he's a legendary person. So Travis Scott, where is it right here? I have the moment where Travis Scott posted this, shouting you out right here. Jeremy Peña, he called you a young king or young prince. He tried to at you, but he didn't fully at you. I was like, oh, maybe he, I don't know what happened there. But he posted you. He showed you love. Travis Scott, one of the most significant artists in Houston history, one of the most significant artists in the history, especially when it comes to our generation. Like, Travis Scott is goated level. Break that down. Have you met Travis Scott? What is your reaction to this? And, I'm assuming you were someone that obviously used to listen to his music like we did in school. And now, full circle moment, him showing you love and calling you a king. Like, what is going on? What was your, connection with Travis Scott so far?
So I actually met Travis Scott last year.
Straight up.
God damn it. God damn it.
Sounded just like the track. Sounded just like the track.
Shut up for a second.
But I met him last year in the World Series.
Really?
He did the call for the, play ball.
Okay.
He got the crowd pumped up before the game, and yeah, that was cool. That was the first time I saw him in like a star of his caliber, and to see him post me, you know, he actually didn't really tag me.
Yeah, he tried
You know,
to.
yo, you gotta tag me, bro. Like,
Yo, you would have been able.
Come on, Trav.
No, because you can type a name out, but you gotta tap the.
Oh, this nigga didn't even.
He didn't tap
Alright,
the
nah.
name, but he typed it out.
Nah, but just the fact that, you know, he took time out of his day to
100%.
give me a shout out, you know, on his Instagram, like, that's real. That's dope.
So we're not gonna hear any Jeremy Peña ad libs on Utopia.
Oh, you gotta have that one.
Straight
up.
Listen, man. Listen, Travis, if you're watching, I know you watch a lot of stuff. We have, you know, very classic Travis Scott reactions online. If Jeremy's down, I'll even fly out to Houston if I have to. I would love to react to his album with you. We can react together. In Houston, I think it would be doper to do it in Houston, you and me, listening to the Travis Scott Utopia album when it comes out. And if you're watching, Travis, you want to join, you can join. You don't have to, though. But we're definitely going to rock out to it. I think that's going to be dope. If you're down, would you be down for
I'm down to
something?
do that. That's
Hey.
dope.
Let's go. We have it here on camera. Utopia reaction coming in Houston with the Houston Astro MVP right here. Now, moving on from this, it's hard to move. It's so many, bro. You lived a hell of a life already. 25 years old. Man, even that idea, I've joked about it. I've told the guys like in a group chat and stuff, is like, why doesn't he just retire at this point? Like, you can retire. When it comes to this mindset, do you feel the pressure of like doing it again? Do you feel like you're well accomplished? What more do you want to achieve in your baseball career? Because you did it all in the first year.
So there's definitely room for improvement. And I feel like there's a lot of things I want to work on this offseason. And, you know, when you accomplish winning the World Series your first year, now that's, you know, that's the
highest.
Cream top,
cherry on
top of the
that's what
cream.
but that's not what you expect to do every single year.
Yeah.
You know, you got a taste of that. Now you want that taste every single year.
Yeah.
You know, so going into next year, it's how can we repeat? You know, how can we do it again? So that's where I'm at. You know, I want to get better, and then it's to show up next year and try to do it all over again. So.
And y'all got majority of the team back, and y'all just signed a crazy guy, Abreu, first baseman. Y'all needed a first baseman, offensive demon, yo. So it's crazy.
And no comment.
Yeah.
No comment.
It's crazy.
Yo, get it spicy. Listen, couple quick hit questions though. Favorite baseball player of all time? What's your favorite baseball player of all time?
Favorite baseball player of all time, Manny Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow, Manny Ramirez. Have you met Manny?
I've not met Manny, but I did text with him.
Really?
DM me on Instagram and reached out after the World Series, and it was pretty cool.
How was that feeling becoming, you know, even, you know, having a fucking conversation with a man that you looked up, you said this is your favorite player of all time, representing the Dominican Republic to the fullest, and you being very successful, and then him, you know, showing you respect and, you know, honoring you as well, showing you that commendable, you know, like you did that shit. How does that feel? Does it feel surreal? Like, what are your emotions when it comes to that?
It's surreal, bro. It's like I said, you grow up looking up to these dudes, you know, watching them on TV, bringing a championship to the Red Sox in 2004, and you know, it's one of the greatest hitters. I was gonna say Dominican hitters, but righty hitter of all
Overall,
time.
Yeah, I know.
And you know, I admired his game, and I admired his game. His work ethic was, you know, unmatched. And for him to reach out, it was cool. You know, I want to, you know, revive those conversations and try to get together, you know, get some work in. But, Manny, if you're watching this, we need to hit the cages.
Listen,
And having Pedro too. Pedro Martinez actually showing love.
That too.
That's wild.
You know, that too. Before a game, Pedro Martinez came up to me. You know, he gave me a hug, you know, called me his nephew, and he was like, hey, keep doing it. You know, it's special what you're doing, and keep putting on for our country. And, you know, I took that to heart.
yeah, he was like, "Estamos orgullosos de ti," something like that. Like, we're proud of this. Like, he was speaking for the country. I was like, Jesus Christ, like I'll faint right there. Like, is there many bigger, higher achievement here? What's going on, guys? But speaking of DR, Dominican Republic, do you have a favorite Dominican dish?
Favorite Dominican dish. So I'm simple, bro. I'm rice, beans, chicken. Like it's
Pollo horneado or pollo guisado?
pollo guisado.
Really?
Pollo guisado.
I'm not a pollo guisado guy. I'm sorry.
What?
I love it, bro.
Just gotta-
I love it, bro.
No, dude, I'd rather have that shit horneado.
I don't
I'd rather have it horneado. I'd rather have that shit baked. Give me some baked
Should be
chicken.
dry as hell.
Nah, bro.
It's healthier, kind of.
Bro, we ain't about no health, bro. He's trying to get
Yo!
some good grub.
Do you have a favorite Dominican artist?
Favorite Dominican artist? I mean, are we counting Romeo Santos?
Really?
Well, that's my boy. Bro.
Bachatero.
That's why you're a sex symbol.
That man, bro, that man.
Doing the bachatas.
You know, there's Jordan
Yeah.
and there's Romeo Santos.
Yo, it's real talk.
I'm telling you, bro.
God forbid the man passes away tomorrow. God forbid. The entire Dominican Republic will be depressed for 10 years. Are you kidding me? Let's not even speak about that shit. When it comes to reggaeton artists, are you a Daddy Yankee or Don Omar?
El Daddy.
Oh, there we go. Proud of you.
Daddy Yankee, bro.
There we go. DY. DY. Man,
Daddy Yankee.
that's amazing. Have you ever had any interactions with any of these, reggaeton, dembow artists yet? Either in
did.
person or social media?
Yeah, so in Philadelphia, bro, all the superstars came out.
Really?
Meek Mill was there. He actually he did the Dreams and Nightmares before the game, like before we took the game, and fuck, Mike Towers was there while we were hitting BP.
Mike Towers.
I got to talk to him, dapped him up, had a conversation with him, took a couple pics.
Damn.
That was cool, man. Like that was dope. And yeah, Daddy Yankee was supposed to come to Houston, but he went, did his concert, but for some reason he didn't go to the game.
Yeah.
But
Busy schedule. It's his last tour ever.
Busy schedule.
Legend Daddy
so-
tour out right now. Go watch him now live. Daddy Yankee, the best reggaeton artist of all time. He created it. I love DY. Man, let's keep it going a bit here now. Does it feel weird to you yourself when it comes to the public even knowing certain things, because you are in the public eye? I myself technically definitely am, but you are in a situation where every athlete, their salary's public. They just posted the other day, every player got a $500,000 bonus. Do you ever feel like any awkwardness? Do you ever feel any awkwardness of like the fact that, okay, these are achievements, this is all te lo lograste, like they say in Dominican, like te lo lograste, like this is what you deserve, this is what you envision, but at the same time now, is there any awkwardness when it comes to, even people that your friends and shit, and like when it comes to financial, because everything is public now, and it's only going to get more and more public. Another prediction of mine, within this next 6 months, he's going to sign a 10-year, $350 million contract, Mike Trout type level. I know my baseball, but that's a prediction. Don't worry about it. But when it comes to this idea of like you being a public figure, people knowing my money and knowing my business, what is your mindset? How does that feel?
I mean, I feel like it's tough when you don't have privacy, because sometimes you just want to go to a restaurant and eat with the family and get out and go home.
Yeah.
But it comes with the game. It comes with the game. It's what we sign up for. But I don't know. I feel like if you want to know something about me, you can just Google search and everything pops up.
Yeah.
And it's a life that we signed up for. But it also depends who you are as a person. Like some players love it, like all the attention. Some players are low key. Some players are in between.
Yeah.
They know how to handle that, and then they still have their privacy. So it's just about finding a balance of how to deal with that and how to live your life.
100%. And shout out to another Providence player. David Duke has a message for you that I want to play. The Brooklyn Nets, David Duke from Providence, Rhode Island as well. Calling in here as well. Making a lot of predictions today, guys.
Before
Yeah.
I watched that video, shout out David Duke. what he's doing for the community.
Oof.
You know, not just putting it on.
The David Duke Foundation.
Being in the NBA and, you know, doing his thing, you know, but taking time out of his day to, you know, give back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's real. That's real love, and I love what you're doing, bro.
So this is the question right here from David Duke to Jeremy Peña. My first time listening to this as well. Shout out to David Duke, my brother.
Jeremy, what's going on, brother? It's David Duke here. I just want to start by saying congratulations on everything that you've accomplished in your career. You know, it's always great to see a fellow Providence native and classical alum doing their thing on the biggest stage. I'm rooting for you and your success. You know, it's really inspiring for not only me, but all the other young athletes in the state of Rhode Island coming up and, you know, dreaming of doing the things that you've done so far. I think, you know, one thing that I want to know, as well as I'm sure other people too, is, you know, what's one thing that keeps you going and what keeps you motivated, you know, in the times where it may not all be working out, right? Or during like the rough patches and things like that. Because, you know, everybody sees the success, you know, everybody sees like the end product, but, you know, people don't see like what goes into it. The times where, you know, it may not be working out in a specific area, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. But what's one thing that like keeps you going and something that you always fall back on? But other than that, man, I just want to say, you know, thank you for setting the bar so high for the rest of us, showing us, you know, what's possible. And I'm rooting for you, like I said before, and, you know, I pray God continues to bless you and your family. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the rest of your career. You've got a fan in me. But yeah, man, go Astros.
Go Astros. Round of applause for David Duke. Sending that beautiful message to Jeremy. So what is your answer for Mr. David Duke Jr.?
Man, shout out, you know, David. You know, that's real. You know, that was, that's real. You know, that's real love.
Nice.
And, you know, what keeps me going, that's a great question. And I would say I play for, not to prove people wrong, but I played to prove people right. You know, like I played for the people that actually did believe in me. You know, even before I believed in myself. You know, so I played for the kids that can't play, or the kids that aspire to be like us one day. You know, I owe it to them. You know, I owe it to myself. I owe it to my family for all the sacrifices they've done for us. So, yeah, I played to just prove people right. You know, people that did believe in me. So,
I love that. I love that, man. Providence. Stand the fuck up, Providence. You know, they did it. You could do it. Let's keep it going. And right here, let's do this with Jeremy. This was Erlen's idea. So Erlen's going to do this real quick with Jeremy.
We might skip the other segment, though. It's about to be 3
Let's
hours.
go. So, it's a movie. It's a documentary we're doing today, guys. So this is
Netflix series, bro.
You got 3 parts of a Netflix series.
yo, fucking hurting.
I gotta be up in 6 hours. Another food run, bro.
You gotta get dessert now. Listen. So this is Cap Trivia. Baseball edition with Jeremy Peña. Hosted by Mindset. So, first question. Erlen, read it and let's go.
All right, JP. So, you had many accolades this year. You know, you was World Series MVP, but aside from being the first position MVP, there was also another rookie that won the World Series MVP. So, let's see your baseball trivia, bro. Who was the first rookie to be named the World Series MVP? Was it A, Larry Sherry, B, damn, bro, Shia Bean Abraham Joseph, C, Clark Kent, or D, Gail Earl?
Clark Kent. That's Superman, bro.
Hey, he won the MVP. He won every award.
He was a Dodger.
Oof.
Well, it's not C.
I'll have to go with Larry Sherry, 1959.
Drum roll.
Final answer, A, Larry Sherry.
Let's see.
Hey,
You got it right.
Larry Sherry. Yeah.
Larry Sherry.
1959, first pitcher, rookie pitcher.
Yep. And for those who don't know, B. Shia bin Abraham Joseph, born in 1992, is 21 Savage.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, who are these players, bro? I was like, I've never heard of these players, bro.
I was gonna go for it. He was a
Listen, Shia bin Abraham Joseph, can you do something for me? It doesn't ring off the bell that better. 21 Savage is a better name. Better name.
All right, next question. Houston trivia. The Houston Astros mascot named Junction Jack is what type of animal? A, a horse, B, a rabbit, C, a kangaroo, or D, a armadillo?
That's gotta be a kangaroo, bro. That's
gotta
kangaroo.
be.
Final answer?
Junction Jack, final answer, kangaroo. Hey,
A horse.
Oh, man.
He's not really from Houston.
Oh, man. Pick them
This-
back.
Damn, bro.
the mascot about to hit you up like, JP, what the
Yo,
fuck?
what's the mascot for? Who's that?
The Astros. The Astros.
Who's with the Astros?
Yeah.
No way.
Junction
bro.
Jack, yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I think the answer was a rabbit too, to be honest. I don't think it was a horse.
Wait, what?
I think it was a rabbit. You
Yo,
saw
how
a
we
horse?
doing the trivia? You
Did we sabotage it? My bad.
I saw something different. I know it was a kangaroo though. It was a kangaroo. I was like, yo, I saw something different. All right, moving on.
Question number 3.
Question number 3. The trees. The Houston franchise joined the major leagues in 1962, as did the New York Mets. What was Houston's first team name called? A, Colt 45s, B, Corona Kings, C, Buddy Lights, or D, Wise Buds?
Roll back.
Bro, what are these names, bro? I'm gonna have to go with. Bro, what?
Houston, Texas,
I'm gonna have to go with.
Cowboys.
I'm gonna go with A, Colt 45s.
Final answer, A, Colt 45s. Hey,
There we go. 2 for 1.
The Houston, Cowboys
Let's go.
with their guns. All right. Next question. Question number 4. What player was nicknamed Mr. November? A, A-Rod, B, Bo Jackson, C, Derek Jeter, or D, Mike Trout?
Well, there's only one Mr. November, dog.
Hey.
And that is the captain, Derek Jeter.
C, final answer, Derek Jeter. Yes, sir.
There we go.
Capitan, yeah. All right.
Last and final.
Cap trivia. And final question. The MLB Comeback Player of the Year award was developed as a part of the sponsorship agreement involving what product? A, pine tar, B, Wheaties, C, condoms, or D, Viagra? Comeback Player of the Year. Is that it? Sometimes this is crazy.
This is wild.
Bring that comeback to the This is a real question too.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with C.
Final answer, condoms.
Final answer?
It was
Viagra!
It's the comeback player of the year. You gotta make him come back.
And that's Cap Trivia Baseball Edition with Jeremy Peña, World Series champion. Pardon the interruption momentarily, real quick here. Commercial break by Club Ambition. That's us, ourselves. We have clothing out right now for sale. If you like what Jeremy Peña's wearing, that sweater, it's discounted right now. We have the black version on my body, and Jeremy was wearing the black version, but Erlen Mindset, tell them what you're wearing. You got the gray one looking nice.
Gray one looking nice, comfy, man. It's getting cold. You know, this is heavy sweater, very good quality after a couple washes.
It's like a fucking coat.
Brand new.
$39.99. Free shipping. $39.99.
Very cheap, yo, for the quality. And then it's crazy.
Look at these shirts.
Look at this shirt, man.
Balenciaga who?
Oof.
Fuck Balenciaga.
Come on, no.
You see Balenciaga, they're doing the child pedophilia. No child pedophilia over here. We're fathers over here.
Come on, no. But those for the ambition.
Right
y'all
there.
got ambition, y'all got a dream, man. Keep going. They're going to love you for that, man.
100%. 100%. Available all on the website. Let me show them the website, clubambition.store. That's clubambition.store. You visit the website and you see we have a sale going on. We got shirts for $20, free shipping. Official 47 Club hats, free shipping. 47 Club, we work with them. Shout out to 47 Club. Official partnership with 47 Club hats for $20. People are sleeping on those heavily. They're not gonna sleep on the next ones though. Whenever we got the new era coming soon, they're gonna not sleep on that one.
Thanks.
Black hoodies, gray hoodies, $40. These used to be $70, guys. They're on sale. We got some shirts left of these, the high quality puff print shirts for $30, free shipping. These have a back print on them as well. Shout out to Michael Cameron for modeling these. Shout out to Tony, Tiana, also Jada modeling them on the Instagram posts. Check them out. Club Ambition clothing, Club Ambition merch. CA is really a movement. It's a brand. This is good quality merch, clothing. It might seem basic because it's black and white. We're dropping more colors, more designs very much soon, but we can't do that without money. So please support us right now. Holiday sale. Purchase this stuff on clubambition.store. You can look like Jeremy Peña too. He's a part of Club Ambition for those who didn't know. And he's rocking this stuff proudly. So please support us. Please, we need to pay the rent. I need to put food in my son's mouth. Clubambition.store. Where can they find us again, Earl?
Clubambition.shop.store.
Store.
Clubambition.store,
motherfucker. There we go. There we go. Now back to the legendary Jeremy Peña interview. Pow!
That's funny. that last one was legendary.
Oh, man. Straight up. Listen. Listen. Going back to Providence, Rhode Island, shout out to Quiddy Pay from the Indianapolis Colts. He was busy getting ready today to play for the Monday Night Football game, but he has a question for you that he couldn't send via video. So Quiddy, the NFL player from Providence, Rhode Island, says, Jeremy, would you be interested in bringing professional athletes from Rhode Island together to do something dope to inspire kids, like a camp or a charity event or something along those lines? Maybe even a public greet and signing. That's Quiddy Pay from the Indianapolis Colts to Jeremy Peña.
Yes, sir. I mean, shout out to Quiddy Pay. Keep doing your thing, man. It's fun to watch. And, I would love to. I feel like this community has given so much to me, has given so much to us that the least we could do is give back. So, hit me up whenever and we'll get it set up. We could even, document this with your
channel, yep.
With your channel. So
I'll host that whole shit.
Yeah,
don't tell me twice.
Let's get it done. Let's do something.
I'm down. It's gonna happen. You heard it here. Coming soon. Uniting all the great athletes of Rhode Island, future champions, and the current one, Jeremy Peña. Providence. Why is Providence special to Jeremy Peña, the kid from Providence now, a world champion, household name? What is special about Providence to you?
The thing with Providence is that, first, it's the city that watched me grow from a kid coming from the Dominican Republic to an unknown city. Somewhere I had no friends. It was a city that raised me and shaped me into the man I am today. A lot of my values I developed here. My friendships are here. And, I always say we have a small city but big dreams. We have a small city with big dreams. So shout out to Providence. I feel like everyone knows each other here. So, it's cool. It's cool. You have a lot of familiar people, and it's a mighty little city.
Yeah. No, 100%. I always say that, you're a prime definition of it. I always have the famous quote. I don't know who said it or invented it, but I'm taking ownership of it. But when it comes to, you know, everyone wants to leave and want to become, you know, the small fish in the big pond. You want to go to New York, LA, you know, but when you're there, everyone else is trying to be like you, trying to get it. You know, you see a lot of people like you, but out here, you have the opportunity to become the big fish in a small pond, where when you do something, you stand out more than everyone else because no one else is really doing it, you know, and you could take it to bigger levels. So, you know, you're the representation of that, you know, a big fish in a small pond, and not just a pond, the entire fucking ocean. You fucking are annihilating everything. What's a piece of advice to a Providence kid right now that's watching this, who wants to play baseball and go to the MLB and is looking up to Jeremy Peña, who's accomplished so much stuff in his first year? What is a piece of advice that you can give them?
So an advice that I would give anybody, you know, not just even baseball players, like in life, and this would help you with anything. I would say forget about instant results. Like, that stuff is an illusion. That does not work. Like, there's no such thing as instant results, you know, and it's cliche to say, like, fall in love with the process, but in the process where the beauty is. You know, in the process where the beauty is. Like, we just won the World Series, and what I could remember is the times when we were working to get to the World Series. You know, like, winning the World Series was cool. But what I remember was all the work that we put in to get to the World Series. So what I'll tell somebody is, man, just, you know, put the work in. You know, worried about today. You know, today's the only day in the whole year where we could do something. You know, you can't do anything tomorrow. You can't do anything yesterday. You know, it already passed. Today's the only day you could do something. And, yeah, man, write your own book. You know, don't worry about someone else. Like, this guy is going to get to the big leagues at 20. This guy 25. This guy 30. This guy's not going to get there. But we all have our own story, you know, so write your own book. Don't worry about what someone else is doing. Do you. So.
Yeah. I love that. And, you know, we heard that, you know, you have a history of being a rapper. But aside from that, break that down. But also, do you have a favorite rapper of all time? What's your favorite rapper of all time?
My favorite rapper of all time? In English, I'd say J. Cole. J. Cole is my favorite rapper. And then Spanish.
I guessed it.
Spanish, I will go with... I got to go with Daddy Yankee.
Daddy Yankee. Actually, now that I think about it, did you see the love that, I think even followed you, that Calle 13 Residente showed you? You didn't know that? Calle 13 Residente,
No
the
way,
Puerto
bro.
Rican artist?
No
Bro.
way, bro.
Check your phone right now.
What, bro?
Check your phone right now.
Where's my phone at?
I swear to God, where's his phone?
Yeah, give me my phone.
Check your phone just to verify.
What, bro?
Watch.
He comments and he follows you?
One of the biggest, if not the biggest, Puerto Rican rapper of all time.
Better unfollow you by now.
No, he's very humble. Maybe not.
Let me clear my history real quick.
So, what's is Rene? Rene is his Instagram? Yeah, but yeah, I saw him. He followed you and he commented. I was like, I think I told someone. You saw? See it?
He DM'd me, bro.
Oh, let's read the DM out loud for the
that's
first
kinda
time.
dope.
If you can. If you can. If you can.
Nah, he said, you know. Nah, that's cool, man. This is dope. He said, "Qué duro, hermano. Tremendo juego." And then, like, the fire emoji.
Yeah.
That's cool, bro.
Wow.
Give him a shout out after the game.
Yep.
I'm about to
Wow.
reply right now.
Yep, tell him. Or you can send him a video. Be like, whatever you want to do. Listen, that's right there.
That's cool.
That's
That's dope, man.
that's the, you know, the power of, you know, following your dreams, and, you know, people that other people look up to, or that you look up to yourself, end up looking up to you and showing you love. And I feel like he's someone that's very, very, very humble, and you represent that to the highest extent, you know. But putting the humbleness aside, you used to rap?
Nah, bro, but I'm not a rapper.
Do you have a song recorded, or?
Nah, man, that's not me, bro. That's not me. That's David right there. That's David.
Listen,
That's
cause
me, dog.
listen, we have an instrumental that we're gonna play.
You don't want to rap.
If you rock with it, you could just say whatever. I think Erlen got a bar or two he's gonna spit.
Yeah. Set it up, Earl.
Set it off, Earl.
Yes,
Set it off
sir.
mindset.
Then we need DT3 on that.
DT3.
I'll go after Earl.
Clean up your messy confusing.
This shit's about to be so
It's a free beat on YouTube. I'm about to be cheap. Put the speaker up. Put the speaker up. We gotta hear it over here. We gotta catch the vibe. Mike. There's a couple lines. I'll just delete this part on YouTube. Just chop it up. What the fuck is about to happen in here? No. I get it. No, you kidding. This guy. He could have kept it going. Love. Say, love. I had to shut some weight. I was used to being with too many snakes, giving niggas food, not myself. Didn't have a plate. Had a big when Shorty said she was kind of late, giving niggas, you know what's up. In a couple days, time was alive. Disrespecting this. So, rapper here. Throw some topics. Put up. Keep it going. The beat's going. We're gonna throw some topics.
Yeah, we go freestyle.
Okay. Let me see. What can we talk about? Okay. Houston Astros. Let's rap about the Houston Astros. Go.
Talk about him.
Houston Astros.
Yeah.
I'm rapping trying to get this cash flow.
Yeah.
Mad though.
Hey.
That's all I got. Pass it off to my boy. Sam on the track. Yeah, buddy.
I'ma sweep it like a mop. That's my one bar, and it's done. And on that note, that's a Jeremy Peña interview movie.
Man, yeah.
Officially, Netflix series.
You gotta cut up this whole session, whatever.
Oh, hold up. Man, went the whole thing without moving the cameras, and that happens.
Yo, fix that.
Hold on, we gonna get you right.
We good.
That was fire. Hold up.
You do your thing real quick. Yo! Yo, my Ireland might get signed after this.
Yo,
be careful, bro.
What the fuck is about to happen?
We working, yo. Soon to come. Mindset's gonna have a crazy run coming
Let's hear
out. But right now we just working. We in the lab, yo, and yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Salute, man. Hey.
Eric, you want to say something, Eric? You gonna say something?
I just want to say, brother, while you're here, while we do this on camera, while we do this on air, you don't gotta get me. Fuck it. I'm cool. You know, we love you, man. We look up to you.
Sure.
I know definitely when I was going through my process of achieving what I wanted to achieve in my life, I would look at you as an inspiration. I always have. From high school, I would see your dedication. I would see your humility. I would see your level of focus and the distraction that you wouldn't allow to deter you from your path. That's awe-inspiring. I think it's a testament to the person you are, to the way you were raised. God bless your family. God bless your parents. I hope you're proud of yourself, man. We really, it's inspiring without anything attached to that. Nobody wants anything from you. We just want the best from you.
Yeah.
And so just know that you push us forward. You make us look inward in the moments that are difficult, and we say, if he can achieve it, so can we. When I'm in the trenches of doing what I'm doing, I say, this motherfucker can do what he's doing, then I can just do this little bit that I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to thank you, give you flowers right here. Thank you, brother.
For sure.
There we have it.
Nah, and I appreciate you, bro. You know, I love you. And, you know, it's all a product of, you know, what you surround yourself with. And, you know, I feel like I'm surrounded by great people, you know, and it speaks, you know, the people in this room right now, man, like, it's real. You know, you are a product of what you surround yourself with. And, you know, I feel like I have an MVP team around me, so that's real.
That's love, man. Jeremy Peña, he's forever in life a member, a part of Club Ambition for Life. Jeremy Peña, we appreciate you coming through. Thank you for, allowing us to create the best podcast episode in the history of podcast episodes. And, a message for the people of Houston, the franchise. This is me saying it. 3 words. Pay that man. That's it.
Pay that man.
They gon' let me for my ambition.